All right, we are back with another episode of Around the Indoor Football World, where we cover all the major indoor football leagues, such as the IFL, the NAL, the TAL, the AAL, and the AF1, as well as the AIF, and we mix in several other leagues as well. But looking forward to today's episode. We have a very special guest coming up at 7:30 a.m. Central Time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Excuse me, sorry about that. From Sammy Strong Foundation, a foundation that supports pediatric brain cancer research and also the families that are going through that situation. So with that in mind, I have dropped a link in the chat. I don't ask you guys for much, but if you have a couple bucks you could donate to this cause, I think this is something that we can all get behind. This is supporting the families that are going through this, whose children are going through this. If you can't support that cause, I don't know what cause you can support. So on that note, we're going to have them on at 7:30. Like I said, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So here in about a half an hour, we will talk a little bit more about their foundation, learn about their partnership with the Omaha Beef, and hopefully we can help drive them some more traffic, some more donations, as we as a network have also kind of thrown in a little bit of a donation there as well. So hopefully we can lead the cause to help add a little bit more to the beef, or what the beef have already done with Sammy Strong Foundation. So sorry about that, getting a little emotional already on that topic. It's not a fun one. So on that note, let's go ahead and get going.
Let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
So hopefully somebody got that reference out in the crowd. Did you guys at least get that? DJ, Cody? No? The kick the tires and light the fire? Oh, come on, man. Independence Day. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and kick off on man, I have to pull up the Google document. What would you guys like to start on? Let's start with this. How are you guys doing this morning, Krish?
Yeah, no, doing good. Excited to watch my boy Paxton Lynch and the Colorado Spartans handle business tonight. So it's going to be fun.
Should be a great game. I'm very excited to be there tonight. Cody, how are you doing this morning?
Doing all right. We got one preview left to go for the Indoor Football League preview series, and just uploaded the Tulsa one. Shameless plug. Go check that out, and the 12 others that we've gotten covered. We got the defending national champs tonight in Vegas, so that'll be a fun one to get going.
There you go. Out of curiosity, just curious, how long do you spend on each one of those videos?
It starts in the off season, man. It's you have to type up all the stats. You have to figure out all of the roster transactions. As we all know, it's ever growing and ever condensing of who gets cut, refuses to report, all of that stuff. So you'd be amazed at the amount of time it takes, and then having to build the graphics, do all of that. It probably, they're like 45-minute long videos. So you have to record that, you have to edit, and you have to do that. So it's easily over an hour, 2 hours just to record, edit, and upload.
Yep.
You're probably, it's almost like a second job, man. It's insane.
Yeah, no, 100%. And your stuff is very well done. Like I've talked about here before. Like I said, to you guys just the other day, I literally listened to 3 of the previews right in a row while I was working and doing my day job. And it's really well done content, a lot of great information. And in fact, some of the stuff we'll ask you about later in the show, because some of it I wasn't aware of until I had heard your previews, and I kind of looked back at the schedule and I was like, oh, wow, okay, that is kind of a rough stretch for this team, or stuff that you had pointed out in your preview. So I'm excited.
Sure.
To get to
I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, go check it out. If you don't have to. I'm not your boss, but can if you want.
Absolutely, you should. TJ, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for some games to kick off later. It's the start, man. It's the season, baby. Let's go.
A couple people already checking in. Brian Mathern, Adrian Figueroa, and 1060 Designs. As always, make sure you hit the like button. And then Brian says, Krish, how much did you put down on the Spartans? They're at negative 280 currently. Weren't they like plus 1620 last week? Or are we talking about the individual game lines?
That's to win a championship.
Gotcha.
Tonight it's 280. Man, I'm waiting for the spread. There's no spread that's been posted, so I'm gonna wait for the spread.
I wonder if they're just playing it safe for the first couple weeks. We'll see how things go. Cody, your attention to details and in-depth coverage of each team is very impressive. Definitely done a very professional level. You got NAL owners watching your IFL content.
I appreciate that, Ricky. That really, really means a lot. I've got a lot of kind compliments and words, not just from owners from other leagues, but owners in the IFL, players, coaches, the whole gambit, man. It's a labor of love. I love doing it.
100%. Definitely shows for sure. All right, we're going to start on the AIF this week. There's a little bit of news that came out of Odessa and Midland recently, which I like to see. You guys know here on this show, we're big fans of Tommy Benizio and his abilities to kind of come in and I call him a spark plug a little bit. You know, you kind of insert him into a franchise. He ignites a little bit of a fire in the sales department, typically kind of help gets them structured the right direction, and then start headed the right direction, gets them structured correctly and headed the right direction. I apologize. And he has recently been working with Odessa and Midland. So I'm very excited to see what comes from that for both of those franchises, and hopefully it makes them, very sustainable for the future. So very excited to see that they're making those efforts to hopefully build out these franchises for the long term. But I know that's something I kind of threw on there late. Krish, did you have any thoughts on Odessa and Midland?
No, it's good to see them go in there and try to help them get their money up. I know that's been an issue with the AIF for a while here. So, yeah, I'm glad. I'm really good to see, them trying to, forge a path to some stability, I guess.
Absolutely. And that's the goal, right? So, TJ, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it shows that they're making an effort, which is awesome. Not just the individual teams, but I mean, it's a good look for the AIF in terms of stability and trying to become one of the more solid leagues. Obviously, they don't have the best reputation, so anything helps. And hopefully, Benizio is able to do, like you said, his normal spark plug thing, and help them out and get them into a better spot. Just overall as a team, we'll see.
Absolutely.
And I do want to point out, like, every teams after he meets with them, like, their success is determined on the work that they put in after he gives them. He gives them the 500-page, manual and everything. Like, they have to follow it. So it's up to them to kind of carry that out once he's done. So
absolutely, 100%. I mean, but let's put it this way: if you've got the open mind to bring a guy like that in, you're probably going to follow his advice, right? I imagine they're paying him something to come in there and consult, and maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions, but I would imagine at some point it's costing them something to bring him in. You're gonna try and utilize that as much as possible. But Cody, any thoughts on that?
I think it's building a strong foundation where you can get lost with it would be the long term. So you're bringing them in probably for the short term, but what are the long term goals? Because like you said, if they're paying them something to kind of get a good footing and kind of like make a name for themselves, build that reputation, what's going to happen in 3 to 5 years? So that's something that you also have to kind of be on the lookout for. So it's nice in the short term. I don't mind it, but you also have to look at it in the sense of, hey, where are we going after he kind of completes his job? So that'd be something to look forward to in the next couple of years. Not trying to be rude when I talk like that, but as we all know, there are teams that end up folding after a couple of years because they have they have the infrastructure and then it just kind of slowly withers away. So
100%. It's an everyday battle, and I think Ricky said it on multiple occasions that for him, the Omaha Beef are basically a year-round job. He might take a vacation in the off season, but that's about it. And then it's nonstop for him. So, and that's how you get to the point where you're a stable franchise where you don't necessarily have to stress every year about the financial situation. But there was also a schedule update recently. West Michigan announced a game against the CNY Blue Devils, which I thought was kind of interesting to see them announcing a game mid-season being added to their schedule. But let's go to TJ first on this one. What were your thoughts when you saw they had announced another game mid-season?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't really think too much of it. Just because, I mean, again, what's the reputation? It is the AIF. Is it helping the reputation of, I don't want to say flat out dysfunction, but just like unorganized? Yeah, it pretty much followed that suit. Um, but other than that, I mean, I really don't have too much to say about it. It's it's kind of just what I've grown to expect from the AIF. So
Fair enough. Krish, any thoughts?
Well, the rumor around the street is Wyoming is folded. I mean, that's what I've heard. So, I mean, yeah, I see this comment. Like, I don't even know what to think about this league anymore. It's constant, nonstop. Teams are folding, coming in. They're adding teams mid-season. It's just not good for the brand at all. So
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it is tough to build any sort of stability when you have these things happening every year, in season. But
honestly, this sounds crazy, but if I was a player, I would rather play in the A7FL than the AIF. That's me though. That's not crazy if you think about it, honestly.
Well, not entirely, but I will say the A7FL is. I'm going to say this, and I'm sure you're going to have some sort of retort, but the A7FL is not typically paid, which I guess in some situations, from what I understand, the AIF does not pay players as well. And no judgment for the record, whatever, as long as you don't promise players pay and then not pay, that's one thing, But if you told them they weren't getting paid, like I said, that's on you. That's your thing. No judgment here. It's just when people promise it and then don't provide it when it's an issue. But yeah, I that's an interesting take, Krish. I was not expecting that, but fair, I suppose. Cody, any thoughts on this?
I don't really have an issue necessarily. If BYU and Coastal Carolina can schedule a game during COVID and a week's worth of time, then sure, go ahead and schedule Central New York. But you have bigger bigger issues with where your teams are located, from Wyoming to Michigan to New York to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, what have you. And I think you need to find more regionality if you're going to make things work. With the fly-by-night kind of stuff, like you mentioned, if they're not getting paid, then I do not consider this professional. I think we're all under the assumption, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but most people are under the assumption that if you get paid, that's professional. If you're not, then it's semi-pro. So I try not to pay too much attention to it. We talk about it, that's fine, but at the same time, they'll probably ruffle some feathers with that, but I see it more semi-pro, especially with some of the stuff that's gone on.
Well, that was a great transition, because we're going to transition over to the Monroe Greenheads next, of the TAL. So they are now really kind of starting up a hiring craze. I guess frenzy is probably a better word. They're searching for a head coach, a director of operations, and they have also put out posts about interns as well. And I wanted to kind of bring this up because, not to call anybody out, but there have been several people that have been very concerned about the lack of movement from Monroe. Anytime a team announces and then it's very quiet afterwards, it's kind of concerning. So the fan base is in that market, or not necessarily in that market, but around that market, we're really starting to get concerned about the lack of movement. And now we're starting to see them, kind of really put out posts and try to look for people for these positions. We spoke a week ago about them hiring I believe a director of business operations, if I remember correctly, or business partnerships. And now at this point, they're kind of starting to really get moving, and now the ball is really rolling. So I think Monroe fans can rest assured that there's probably going to be a team this year, that they don't need to freak out anymore, and that they're obviously actively trying to put together a staff. So, well, Brian says only through LinkedIn, no socials elsewhere. Well, I mean, fair enough. That that is a complaint, but
my issue is, how are we 2 months away from the season and you have none of this in place. Like that's crazy to me, honestly.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is slow and it is late for sure, but I feel like this isn't super abnormal from the TAL, but you would know better than I would. Didn't they hire some head coaches fairly late in the past?
Yeah, but normally, like, the latest I remember was February, not March. So
How in place is everything in Nebraska? Because we're talking Monroe, but I know we've touched on the Nebraska siege a little bit. And again, not trying to, apples to apples, but if that's like, hey, what's going on there? I know they've hired some guys, but are they further along than Monroe is right now, or are they roughly at the same pace?
they're further because
they?
they have the GM and they have a head coach, but Memphis is at the same spot. And Monroe.
Okay. Yeah. So to Sam's credit, yeah, it is kind of on par for the TAL. It's how they're kind of going with it.
And the guy, the GM for Monroe, Doug Parrish, he's running for state senate. So I don't know how he's going to manage both. That's crazy.
I talked to Brian about this as well. Brian has that same concern that, he's running for state senate and he's got a lot of other things on his plate. But in my mind, as a general manager, you don't necessarily, have to be on site the entire time during the season. I think it's probably ideal that you are, but I think there's ways you can make that work, especially considering the fact that they're hiring a director of business partnerships, a director of operations, they're bringing in interns, they're filling out the staff in a manner to where he could potentially step away and still have, functional team. So I'm not advocating for that approach. And I'm not saying that that's a sign of something bigger or better, but that is one thing that I'm not super concerned about. And yes, it's in Alabama. I get it, Brian. It's a concern. But at the same time, what if he doesn't win? Then this just goes away, and it's like it never happened. So
then he gets clowned on for being a failed politician.
Sometimes being a failed politician isn't a bad thing. Exactly, Krish. The socials are good and going. They seem way ahead with the entire process. He's speaking on the Nebraska siege. They did actually put out a video, I believe, yesterday or the day before, looking at their field or possibly a jersey, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look back at the video, but they were kind of slow panning over their logo on something. I can't recall what it was at the moment. Nebraska and Memphis. After this whole offseason, I really don't understand how teams try to build whole organizations in a few months and expect them to go off right. In Alabama, sometimes I feel it's worth just announcing and taking a year to build, but to try and build in 2 months is crazy and super tough. Props to them if they can pull it off. Phone in GM. It feels like you're going to have 10 fans a game if you're this far along and don't even have a Facebook page or a hint of a team. Hint the team is real. Fair points. Like I said, fans are obviously concerned from the lack of movement, and it's a fair concern. We would have concerns with any team that is this slow to move. So, we'll see how things go.
Yeah, they'll still have more fans than Massachusetts.
Oh, dang. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with our guests for this morning, and we're very excited to have them on. So once again, if you haven't done so already, if you have, a couple bucks you can spare, please go click on the link, donate to the cause. Again, it's Sammy Strong Foundation. We're very excited to have them on. They're supporting a cause we can all get behind, helping the families that are dealing with pediatric brain cancer. If you can't support that cause, again, I don't know what causes you can support. So on that note, we're going to play a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with Sammy Strong Foundation founders.
Hey Beef Nation, Joe and Sarah here with the Sammy Strong Foundation. We're a local nonprofit that works to give back to other kids and families who are fighting pediatric brain cancer.
We are so excited to be the community partner of the Omaha Beef for 2026.
We know firsthand how vital and important community is, and we are absolutely grateful to be a part of the beef community.
Learn more about Sammy Strong at GoSammyStrong.com.
Go Beef!
Go Beef!
Go Beef!
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
How's your morning going so far?
So far things are going well. Joe is not sitting next to me. He is having some back issues and sitting in a chair is not hurting. So for better or for worse, you just get me today.
That's okay. That's okay. We appreciate you taking the time to come on and speak with us. As I mentioned in the lead up, I think this is a cause that everybody should be able to support. I mean, how could you not? So can you kind of just give us a little bit of background on your foundation, how you got involved in this, and why you decided to launch the foundation in general?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate just any opportunity to come and kind of share the Sammy Strong story and just exactly what you said of like why we do it. So, our youngest Sammy was diagnosed in 2020 with pediatric brain cancer. It kind of came as it usually does for families, just kind of out of left field. He was experiencing a couple of headaches and what we thought was migraines at worst. We got told, unfortunately, the news that nobody ever wants to hear is that your son's been diagnosed and they've found a tumor, and now our life has shifted pretty much overnight with those words. So Sam, he immediately went into surgery a couple of days later. He ended up having another surgery about a month and a half later. We at time of diagnosis, we were originally told at best he would never be able to walk again. That he would lose all capacity to his right side. We ended up finding or going to a second opinion, which is extremely vital. Sam's life, our life would be very, very different if we hadn't. And so that's when he went in for a second surgery, and just thankfully and just blessed every single day that that pediatric brain surgeon was able to fully resect Sam's tumor. He ended up then just going full speed and really working his ass off in PT, OT, speech, cognition, all of the things. And his big why, we're a big sports family. Our oldest son plays football in college, and Sam can't play football anymore, but his big why was he wanted to get back on the baseball field, and he loves baseball. And so that's kind of what he put all this time and just work into getting back to where he needs to be. And since then, in 2021 is when my husband and I, Joe, who we just kind of, through processing everything and just kind of like working our way through everything that has happened, we ultimately kind of came to the decision that one, we would not have been able to do everything that we did for Sam and as quickly as what we did for Sam without an amazing support system. And for ourselves, we had gotten to know a couple of different families just in that short time on our and just really realizing that not everybody, for a lot of different reasons, has that support system, and that just really didn't set well with my husband and I. And that kind of became the beginnings, if you will, of Sammy Strong, is our mission of really focusing on and making sure that no child, no family ever feels like they're on this journey by themselves, that they have to do it by themselves. So that kind of became our goal of not only doing whatever we can to provide that support in that community, but also really wrapping them around of that power of hope too, because without that thought and that hope, it can get really dark really quick.
Absolutely. And I mean, first of all, my condolences for everything you've had to go through with your son. I can't even imagine what that must feel like from a parent's perspective. I mean, man, that must have been terrifying for your family at that time. But I'm so glad to hear that, the surgery went well and everything went well. And man, it sounds like best case scenario to get that second opinion.
Yes. Yeah, truly.
So obviously, you're on a football show. There was a reason why we kind of reached out, why we connected in particular. And what caught my eye was in a partnership you have with the Omaha Beef. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're very tied here with Omaha Beef. We have a high opinion of Ricky and his organization. But when
Absolutely.
I heard about this partnership you guys have going on, first of all, it touched my heart that people were willing to donate the kind of money that they are, in part because of this. But also, it sounded. I don't want to give away too much. I want you to be able to say what it is. But it just
Yeah.
the whole package that you guys came up with was awesome. So if you don't mind, kind of speaking on the partnership you guys have with the beef and kind of going into that, that'd be great.
Yes, no, and you hit the nail right on the head. From day one, being able to meet with Ricky and being able to meet with Coach, they have been just truly incredible. They've really just embraced not only Joe and I, and then Sammy when they got to meet Sammy, but they have truly just brought us into this incredible just beef nation and community, and it's been amazing. So we got connected with Ricky and Omaha Beef in October, and that was the time where they very graciously asked us to be their community partner, and we just really started that collaboration of what can we do even more with families, what we're able to do within the community, because that community is just vital. We can't do everything that we are able to do for families without that community, without that support. And Ricky and Coach have just really just have brought it to another level. And so it started out with we tonight, Saturday, March 7th is the open season game for Omaha Beef, and in collaboration, Sammy Strong Night. So they are going to be wearing all Sammy Strong jerseys, which is just absolutely incredible. The jerseys are amazing. They did such a great job with that. And then, yep, there they are. It brings tears to my eyes. It just is freaking awesome. And then shortly after that, we kind of started with Mark from Redbox. He and Ricky kind of started with. I got a phone call with from Ricky and Mark going, "Hey, Sarah, we have a really crazy idea. We wanted to hear your thought about it." And I was like, "Okay, I love crazy. Like, shoot, like, talk to me about it." And that kind of also then started what we did on Thursday, which was a Sammy Strong polar plunge. And man, did it just, it was fantastic. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if I'd be jumping into a dumpster of ice cold water, I'd have been like, "You're out of your ever loving mind." But like life always gives you opportunities. And so that was fun. That was really, really beautiful in terms of like seeing the community come together and all these new faces being able to hear about Sammy Strong, and it was incredible. The beef team came out. They jumped in. I think Sammy ended up jumping 10 times. Like, we couldn't keep him out of it. Like, and just challenging other people to jump. But man, it was incredible, and that all came from the brainchild of Mark and Ricky. And true to form, Beef Nation just really just got behind it, and it was an incredible day. Thankfully, it was a little bit warmer than what Nebraska typically is that day, so I think we had a wink from the gods also. But no, it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. TJ, Cody, obviously I don't want to ask all the questions. TJ, do you have any questions for Sarah?
Yeah.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on the show. I do
Hi.
love the foundation. Unfortunately for me, the overall disease has affected my family in the past, like most people, unfortunately. So, I mean, I
I'm
really do love
sorry.
what you
Yeah.
guys are doing.
No,
Um,
thank you.
do you, I mean, obviously you keep records, of how many families and events
Hmm.
you've been able to sponsor and help since
Hmm.
you've started the foundation?
Yeah, so part of what we do, we call it like our Strong Together program, where um, when we connect with a family, we're able to offer some financial support. We're able to give what we call our hero kits to the kiddo who's been diagnosed. And then we're also able, actually this year, and it's something I'm really, really proud of, we've added in that program the sibling bags. And so not only does the kiddo who's fighting get that hero kit, but then if their sibling involves, and they are quite often the silent warriors in this journey, and so then the siblings are also able to get a badge, just in some small way, being able to say like, hey, we know this is affecting you too, and we know this is crappy for you too, and we see you too. And so in that capacity, we are just under our 100th family that we've been able to connect with, and that's incredible. And we also in 2025 started our Sammy Strong On Deck Warrior Stories podcast, where then we've been able to connect with families and give them the opportunity to just come on and share their story, just as another way and another avenue of just building that community and being able to hear other people's stories where they are on in the journey, because it really is a journey. It doesn't stop after surgery. It doesn't stop after chemo or radiation. So we've been able to connect with families day one of diagnosis all the way up to this is year 12 for them fighting, and it is a journey. So having them be able to come on in the podcast has just been a powerful thing too, to kind of build up that community.
That's awesome. Cody, do you have anything?
Yeah. First of all, good morning, Sarah. It's a pleasure to have
Morning.
you on. Pleasure to listen to the story and have the time to hear everything. You said you and the Omaha Beef kind of like met up last October to discuss all of this. How
Mhm.
did that kind of go about? You said your family's kind of big into football. Were you looking for something like this, or did Omaha find your story and say, hey, we want to bring you along?
Yeah, no, great question. So, um, how that kind of ultimately came from us is we had a mutual person that we knew. Her name is Callie, and she runs this amazing group and networking group called Bison Heart. And her and I began kind of collaborating and just really trying to put together a strategic plan of like how to continue to build that awareness for Sammy Strong. She had known Ricky with Omaha Beef, and she kind of had this light bulb, and she's like, I think you guys need to be together. Like, you guys both run kind of at the same passion, same heart, and let's put you guys together in a room and see what comes. And so that collaboration with Omaha Beef would not have happened without Callie and Bison Heart. So yeah.
So there was one other thing that I wanted to ask about specifically, and I had heard specifically about tonight. There's something
Mm-hmm.
going on tonight that
Mm-hmm.
when I heard this, I was amazed on multiple levels. So
Yes.
from what I understand, there was an auction of some sort, or
Yes.
perhaps. Okay,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
give us a little details on those? On that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we hold 3 annual events a year. We have our casino night in January. We have our Birdies for Bravery golf tournament in May, and then we have our home run derby August 1st. So this year at our casino night, Ricky and Coach and their significant others were able to come out and just kind of just on another level see what Sammy Strong was all about. And in that process, Ricky and Coach came up with a live auction item where it was become a professional football player for a game. So they had all of it lined up, where it was a contract for one game, jersey. Whoever got it would be practicing with the team leading up to it, and so it was incredible. That was amazing. The night kind of got going. There was a couple of people that got into a bidding war for it, and sure enough, like Ricky and Coach stepped up, and they're like, "Okay, great. You guys are locked in at this price. You guys both get it." So it ended up where they gave 2 different people who bought the package, where they are going to be playing in the game tonight. And it is wild. And actually, one of them is our board is a board member of ours. And I was talking to him last night, and he was like, "Man, like I know I'm older, but I feel like I'm in pretty good shape." And he's like, "And these practices are kicking my ass." He's like, "I'm so excited to go out there." So yeah, it really truly is. And then actually at the Polar Plunge, coach announced that Sam will be OC for a couple of plays, and so he'll be calling a couple of plays. So he's pretty stoked about that. I don't know if you want to give him a headset for too long, but he's pretty excited about that. So no, really, this collaboration with Omaha Beef truly isn't just okay, let's do this, let's do that, check a couple of boxes, and we're set. They have gone above and beyond to really just make all of this just incredible. And so yeah, we're so excited for tonight.
That's so awesome. That's the part that when I heard about that, I was like, Ricky, can we talk about this on the show? Like I haven't really seen it anywhere. So I was surprised that they haven't been really promoting it more, because this is such an awesome thing. First of all,
and from my understanding, they had to get special permission from the team to carry an extra person on the roster. It was, he, like I said, he above and beyond, man. They're great.
Yeah. I love Ricky, love the beef.
Mm-hmm.
They've always treated us very well, but I mean, this is just an extension of, what we've seen over the years. And this, like I said, this is an awesome giveaway, something I've never seen before. And we've got comments rolling in. What an amazing idea. Professional player for a game.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Team Jack and Nebraska collab they had a while ago.
We're good. Yep, we're good collaboration with Team Jack. Yeah, they are fantastic. They are actually our first phone call when we started, when we were starting Sammy Strong, because just really wanted to make sure, again, how do we collaborate and work together. Team Jack does such an amazing job with research, and there needs to be so much more research going on. We actually just went to the Team Jack Gala last weekend. We collaborate a lot with them. They are fantastic.
Cody, it seems like you know quite a bit about that.
Yeah, a little bit of backstory. Jack Hoffman was and his family were huge Nebraska fans. They might have gone there, and the whole thing went viral. 2014, 2013, where Jack was on the field and they handed him the ball during their spring game, scored a touchdown. The entire team put him on his shoulders, and he fought cancer for a long time. He eventually, unfortunately, succumbed to it, but he was in remission for a minute, and then unfortunately it came back. So it sucks to have those endings. It really, really does. But for everything that he's done, it's nice to hear that you guys are in contact with him and got in contact with him. So
absolutely.
It's actually really cool, because like I said, when you guys were talking about having players or having people play in the game, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, and it's in Nebraska too. So kind of comes full circle in that way.
And truly full circle, because Sam was not born yet, but my husband and I and our two older kids were at that spring game, and it was it was, and that it's just life has a funny way of just kind of showing you some different things, even if you don't fully understand it yet. But the Hoffman family, Kylie from Team Jack, they are all just freaking incredible.
That's awesome to hear. Well, go Big Red with that too. But it's awesome to hear.
Yes.
Awesome. So a couple more comments. Ricky says it's game day, Sarah. It's Sammy Strong Day. And then Coach checked in as well. LFG, Sammy Strong, Thump City. And then Adrian has a good question. Has Sammy been teaching the players any fun touchdown dances?
He and the players got a lot of talking in on Thursday. I don't know if he's started teaching them any dances, but he is not a shy human. So I imagine if they would like, he could definitely toss them out.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. We don't want to keep you too long.
No, thank you.
you guys are doing an amazing thing. Like I said, this is something I feel all of us can get behind, and I hope that many people who see this episode can take the time to go donate, because like I said, I would give you all of the money I had if I could. There's literally no way you can't support this cause. So from the bottom of my heart, you guys are heroes in my book. So I appreciate everything you're doing, and more than anything, hearing your son's story was very touching. So I appreciate you even sharing that story with us this morning.
No, thank you. And we do the best that we can, because the true heroes are these kids fighting, and they need our support in every different capacity. So thank you so much for having me on, and being able to continue to spread that awareness, and keep backing these kids so they can keep fighting, and recognize that hope's on deck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll
No,
definitely be watching the game tonight.
Yeah, go Beef. We're gonna do it. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Thank you so much. Once again, that was Sammy Strong Foundation. This is the link. You can catch it in the chat. Please, like I said, if you got a couple bucks, go donate. It's a really good cause that we can all get behind. And honestly, I can't imagine from a parent's perspective going through what they went through and then channeling that into making something great. So shout out to them, and really just can't say enough good things about this foundation and their cause. So let's all throw a little bit of support in the book there. And one more time, here's our commercial.
Hey, Beef Nation. Joe and Sarah here with the Sammy Strong Foundation. We're a local nonprofit that works to give back to other kids and families who are fighting pediatric brain cancer.
We are so excited to be the community partner of the Omaha Beef for 2026.
We know firsthand how vital and important community is, and we are absolutely grateful to be a part of the beef community.
Learn more about Sammy Strong at GoSammyStrong.com.
Go Beef!
Go Beef!
Go Beef!
Adrian says they're keeping it low key. I got it. I'll be watching and wishing you best of luck tonight. So I just wanted to extend something. Like I said, we have already made a slight donation, so we're hoping to kind of lead the way on this as far as like contributing and putting more in on top of what the Beef have already been able to do. So as far as that goes, we're just gonna extend a little quick invite. Anybody who donates, send us a screenshot of the screen after you donate, and we'll go ahead and enter you in our giveaway, which you guys have all heard about it before. And there's several steps, but we're just going to speed you through that, and you'll just get entered right away just for showing that you donated to this cause. Just a small token of our appreciation to Sarah for coming on this morning and speaking about her cause, and also, our appreciation for what they're doing. So,
and go to the game tonight. Go to the game tonight. Bet on the jerseys. You get to see pros versus Joes and all of that stuff too. Go to the game and watch it. It'll be a great time.
100%. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really curious to see this. And honestly, I challenge more teams to do something like this. This is an amazing thing. Go find a local foundation in your area and do something like this, because I honestly think that this could be something that would spread like wildfire. I think there's a lot of people out there like, hey, I can do this, and they would probably pay for the opportunity to give it one last shot. So I think it's awesome. So
imagine if that board member, don't mean to cut you off, imagine if that board member was actually really good and they signed him to a contract.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's so many different avenues where this could be a really, really cool thing. So like I said, very, very excited to see this play out tonight. So just another little reason why you guys should be paying attention to NAL kickoff this weekend. Obviously we got several games coming up tonight, and that's the perfect time to kick off our NAL segment. So give me a moment to go ahead and pull up the schedule, given that I was not quite prepared. But what's your guys' game of the week as of right now? Let's go to TJ first.
Come on, man. I'm a beef fan. It's all about the beef. And it's Sammy Strong night. Come on.
That's fair.
You're muted, Sam.
Sorry, I realized I'm muted. We're going to pull on Coach B. Here he is. Thanks for coming on, Coach. We appreciate it. And then also here's the schedule for tonight. Several different games going on. Obviously, one that sticks out in my mind because I'm from Colorado, as you all know. So I will definitely be there tonight. Coach B, what is your game of the week this week in the NAL?
It has to be Colorado and Pueblo.
I agree. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Obviously, the history there, Tay Brooks, former defensive coordinator for the Spartans. Also Lisa was formerly involved in the Spartans as well. Now they're with, now she's down there as the owner with Pueblo.
Yeah.
Krish, what are your thoughts on this game, these games this week?
Well, first off, Tay won't be coaching. He'll be in the stands with you. But second off, I think it's Pueblo, Colorado easily, man. I've been saying this for weeks and weeks. I think this is a great kickoff, man. I mean, I think two teams that hate each other. There's that background that you spoke about. Paxton Lynch's debut in this league. There's so much to look forward to. 100%.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night, and first of all, LeCedric was very impressed by the Pueblo Punishers in their first game. He thought they looked like a pretty well-oiled machine. There were some issues, of course, but thought they looked good. And he said, they looked great. Didn't realize it was their first game. I guess I had not made it clear to him that they're an expansion team. So he was like, oh, okay, wow, that was their first game. And then I explained to him that this would be their first home opener. And he said, whoever made the schedule hit it out of the park, because there was no way that you could start the season without having, first of all, Paxton Lynch's first game in Colorado, and second of all, a Pueblo, Colorado game to let them kick off their two seasons. So I think they really hit it out of the park on scheduling that as week one. So I do think that's going to be a really, really fun game to watch tonight. And of course, I will be in person there. Very excited about that as well. So can't wait to get to see all the players there in person, and then also get in some pregame interviews and such. And from what I understand, the commissioner will be there tonight as well. So very excited about that as well. Krish, what is your game of the week? I'm sorry. Oh, you said Colorado and Pueblo. I apologize. Cody, what is your game of the week?
I'm looking at Team Mexico and Dallas. I'm just kidding. No, it's Pueblo and Colorado. I mean, what else? When you look at it, the two games that can be your game of the week are the ones that actually kind of matter in the standings. So either Colorado and Pueblo or Amarillo and Louisiana, which, as was it Texas Pete said, that one can have implications towards like the bottom end of the playoffs of how many teams are getting in, and can you be that final team that sneaks in? So that could be a game that has implications further on down the road, but most eyes will be tuned into Colorado Pueblo.
Oh, we just lost Coach B. Couple comments real quick. Great segment from Coach O'Hanlon, who is the commissioner of the AAL. Coach, check your DMs. I had a request for you. Speaking of which, oh, look at this. Mike Davis. TJ, I apologize, man. I'll get your package out Monday. There you go. I was actually going to wear my Nighthawk shirt this morning, and I didn't. Totally unrelated to the fact that TJ hasn't gotten his clothing yet, but we can pretend like it's a silent protest. With possible playoff implications, you have to say Amarillo in Louisiana. Man, playoff implications in week one? Really? All right.
I honestly might not watch that game. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I would much rather watch the Sioux City game than watch that. Like,
I think that's actually going to be a pretty solid game because they're similarly talented. Like, I don't think it's going to be the most technically sound game, but I think it's going to be a good one. Battle of the Rockies. I've heard a lot of different nicknames for this. So this is something I'm challenging the chat to. What do we call the game between the Spartans and the Punishers? I've heard the Battle of the Rockies. I've heard Mayhem in the Mountains. I've heard the Colorado Clash. We need something good, something that'll stick, something that's really solid, has a little bit of a pun to it. I feel like this is Cody's department. So, any minute
Battle of the Rockies. You got it.
Say Arena Football History stole it. I was going to say Mile High Mayhem, so we're on the same wavelength.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there you go. Mile High Mayhem. That was another one I believe I've had heard.
I was going to say, how far apart are they? Because where's Colorado? Is it Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs is the center point. So Denver and Pueblo are 2 hours apart.
Is that where Colorado? Is that where the Spartans are? Is Denver?
Yes.
Do you know how much the mileage is? Because it could be like 200 miles of hate or something like that.
What's the highway to get them to Denver to Pueblo?
I-25.
Battle of I-25. The
Yeah,
Battle of
there you go.
I-25.
I like that.
I was say the hatred along I-25.
Yeah. We'll definitely work on that. I think we can come up with something cool with that. I didn't think about that. But Warbirds Rue, it'll be great to see how their first game in the existence of the franchise goes. The rivalry Colorado game to see how Lynch does, of course, Texas Pete. I'm also interested to see what Team Mexico is all about. Wouldn't it be neat if they joined a professional league? Yeah, I mean, it would be neat to see a team that operate out in Mexico. I do think that cost makes it fairly prohibitive, so unfortunately, I don't think it's a realistic thing currently. Yes, it did snow here, Brian. I know you guys in the South are blessed with weather that doesn't present that to you guys, but yeah, it snowed about 3 or 4 inches here yesterday in about 6 hours time, and it is already clear in the streets. So,
Hey, Sam, that's crazy. That's what I was gonna say. It really don't. I used to think it's snowing in Colorado like that. It can snow and be gone by 4 p.m.
Yep, exactly. The streets are clear. You can tell it snowed because my front yard's full of it, but that's about it. But battle for the 6th seed starts 1. Amarillo versus Louisiana. Mexico upset with upset Krish. Maybe. Do you think they got the upset?
No way.
I do think they do. They might come in. You never know. They coming from Mexico. I hope they ain't coming to lose.
The U.S. was too busy beating up on Canada the last couple of weeks that Team Mexico is just going to come in and sneak one out.
Who do Southwest play this week?
They don't play this week.
Okay.
Because Thomas doesn't believe in preseason games or tryouts. So
who's their season opener?
Louisiana next week.
Yeah, them and their 3 wideouts.
Yeah. That's a dub. That's a dub for Southwest.
Coach B, they've had practice for Louisiana for the past 3 weeks because they didn't have enough guys show up to have a real training camp. So it's been a good opportunity for them to build with their team. So
hey man, you want to battle for that 6th seed? It's that week 2 game between Southwest and Louisiana. Boom.
Hey man, come on, man.
Jesus. You guys are laying it on thick today, huh? Love it.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. It might not be the same Southwest, but I guarantee they're gonna be one of the top 4 teams in the league.
We'll see. It's gonna be an interesting season. I think there's a lot of good teams in the league. It's gonna be very competitive.
I used to say Colorado was gonna win it, but honestly, Salina has a sneaky good roster.
Yeah. Krish, who was the DB they just signed that you were talking about?
Anthony Sal, man. He was with the Nighthawks. He was with Atlanta Falcons, Toronto Argonauts. That's a huge move for Salina. It makes their DB room even more physical. For him to go with Dion Cocaine, the star safety they have out of Assumption, I think their defense is going to be really physical in Salina. So I'm excited to watch them. Their DBs especially. D-line I'm not sold on yet for them. So.
If the IFA can do it, so can Mexico. Well, let me ask you real quick. Where's the IFA at now? Haven't heard much about them recently. We need a tamale toss to celebrate every Team Mexico TD.
Man, come on.
That's not the worst thing in the world. Sam and Coach Davis or Coach B hit me up. Brian Mathern. Just a blank tortilla toss like Texas Tech. That's fair. I think they're all fair. Wouldn't surprise me if we do a tortilla toss tonight in Pueblo, honestly. Coach B, drill, baby, drill. Liking what y'all got going down in there in Dessa. Yeah, we will definitely get to that. Trust me. We're not going to just skip over the fact that we have a head coach of a team here. Don't worry.
I'm actually a reporter for Shady Sports Network on Saturdays, not a head coach, buddy.
Okay, we'll talk about your side job in a little bit then. Yeah, but anyway, here's the lines for tonight's game, which I don't know if they just released these or what. I haven't really been keeping too close of eyes on my bookie, to be honest. it's a little bit too complicated of a process for me. I'm not much of a bettor, so I probably won't be taking part in this one.
You can only bet
DraftKings
with
is
Bitcoin.
usable.
You can
Yeah,
only use Bitcoin to bet. That's crazy.
that's fair. Oh, I like this idea from Adrian. Bro, if baseball can do $1 hot dogs being thrown around, tortilla toss isn't that bad of an idea. I mean, it depends on what you get out of it. I think it could be done, but which one of these lines sticks out to you guys as the most on point or the most egregious? Let's go to Krish first.
Yeah, so Louisiana and Amarillo kind of stand out to me. I mean, they're both fairly even. Amarillo has more of a defense, I would say. They're more of a defensive team. You know, they just signed Chase Alasakis. He was the star linebacker from 2 years ago. He played for Corpus Christi. Really good player. Really, really good, like in the AIF. He was very consistent. So I'm glad they brought him in. Amarillo, their line play, I would say, a couple of steps ahead of Louisiana's line play. So I don't think it should be even. I think Amarillo should be favored by like 4 or 5 points, in my opinion.
True.
So.
Okay. Coach B, you're agreeing. So you pretty much feel Krish's rundown is pretty fair?
Yeah, my thing is this game gonna come down to coaching, and Amarillo has the more seasoned coaches. And I think, Spanky and JA and them out there can do a little bit more with what they know and what they got over there than Louisiana can. I love Louisiana, what they doing. They trying to build and rebrand it and everything, but I don't think they just got the quarterback. I don't think they got the line to win. And Amarillo, I'm not saying it's a dominant dog, but I just think they got the upper hand on this one.
Louisiana doesn't have a running game. You know what I mean? Like Amarillo does. Amarillo had Josh Batiste, who's been playing this game for how many years? 4 or 5 years. So
Batiste is a good player for sure.
But you can't count D2 out at no point. If he get mad, he gonna run that ball. You got to realize he was one of the leading rushers in the CIF at Billings. He
Yep.
played both. He played both ways. So when he get mad, no matter how you put it, that's still a ball player.
Yeah, I could definitely see a scenario where he plays both ways this year for Louisiana, or maybe he just focuses on running back because that's what they need more currently. But correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't their quarterback down with the goats at one point, Coach B?
Yeah, Walters was last year. Remember, he started the season for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't think that he's the guy to win some games?
Coach, I thought Dylan Van Boxen started the season for y'all.
Well, Walters came to camp and some things happened. He would have been starting the season for us. But yeah, I just don't think, not down in Louisiana. Walters is a great guy. He even would have been good wasn't he supposed to be for the Shreveport team? I mean, with the team and the AF1 with Lee Hutton and them, he was supposed to play then. And I think he would have been good, but he sat out a couple years. It's just a little rusty. I don't know. He been coaching, so he just got to get back into the field. And I don't think he's gonna get back in tune until about week 2, week 3.
Fair. TJ, Cody, I haven't asked you guys yet. Let's go to TJ first. Which game do you feel is the most accurate, and which do you feel is the most egregious in terms of the lines?
Yeah, I gotta say Amarillo, Louisiana, probably the best. And I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers here, but I feel like that's a little disrespectful to Team Mexico, man. I plus 450. I don't know. I might take just a fun flyer on them. I'm just saying. I do have a question for Krish though. I haven't gone on my bookie yet. Can you parlay these picks, or is it only single bet option?
I believe you can parlay, but I think what Brian was saying, it's a $50 minimum in order to parlay.
What? It's a $50 minimum.
Are you serious?
I got it on the website, but I wasn't logged in, so I'm have to go back and check.
But Krish, you've done this since you were 13. You should know this.
Right. You did say you've been on my bookie since you was 13, but that is highway robbery.
Probably your most reliable user, or their most reliable user. I think these odds are more accurate than last week's odds. I would agree on that. He was signed to several teams, but I've never seen where he was started. had 4 QBs in camp, cut 3 after camp, and just
Why do
signed
they keep saying that Morgan Jr. is a quarterback? Like, what about him as a quarterback? He cannot throw. He can only run. Like, he's a running back that's trying to pull that quarterback. He's from that, like, what, the NLFA league, whatever it is.
That's where 90% of the roster comes from.
I know. So they can't recruit in Minnesota and Louisiana.
You can't parlay $50 max bet. And for the record, I'm not saying that in a bad-eyed manner. Like I've talked about it multiple times. I think there's a method to the madness when you're building with local players like that. And literally all of those guys, or not all of those guys, but a good chunk of them came straight from the NLFA because they're local players looking for an opportunity to play. So
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen word for word. They're going to start 0-2. They're going to get rolled next week against Southwest Kansas. And Steve Walters is going to call Ben McCoy up, his buddy from Minnesota, and try to get Ben to send him a bunch of plays. That's what's going to happen. Word for word, I'm telling you.
I don't think it is, actually. I think what's going to happen is they very realistically could be Amarillo. And if they come out and look, even if they lose, but they look like they were competitive, I don't think we see any changes. Because I think in their mind, Southwest Kansas is a team that, you know, even at their best day, they probably will have a tough time beating. So if they come out of these 2 games and it's 0-2, but it looks like they could have won the Amarillo game and they were at least, you know, competitive in the Southwest Kansas game, I don't think we see any changes at all.
I agree, Sam. I agree. And it come down to budget too. If they can afford those players right now, you go to Ben Matoy, I don't think Louisiana can afford some of the players that he have. So I would stick with the guys I got. And then if like he said, if it's close and it works, then it come down to the coaching. You do your job and develop these players.
Yeah, fair. Cody, I haven't got a chance to ask you, what do you think is the most fair and egregious lines here?
I mean, I'll be honest. I think the most fair line is Amarillo, Louisiana. It's a kind of a pick 'em. It might be a little disrespectful to Louisiana being the home team, but I don't think they've necessarily proven their worth when it comes to it. It's a brand new season. We'll see how it goes. I think it's a clear toss-up. Egregious, I kind of have to side with TJ here. We don't know Dallas. To be minus 1250 at home when all of the issues that Dallas has had, you got to put a little bit more respect on Team Mexico's name. That's not to say that Dallas is not going to win, but at the same time, I would not have them that high in terms of winning. They probably will, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. You don't know what Team Mexico is capable of. You don't know what Dallas is capable of. I'm not saying it needs to be down to minus 125 like Amarillo and Louisiana, but at the same time, I don't know, man. It's that's just kind of it makes it look like Dallas is going to be one of the front runners for the league, and we know that's not true.
That's fair, and honestly, I would not count out Team Mexico. Keep in mind that they have a very rich history in loving American football. They have a whole league down there, by the way, that plays very well for American players, and has a pretty high level of talent outside of them because they play a lot of college ball. So they're not saying Dallas is going to lose, but there could be a very good team coming up. I'm just saying, don't count them out before you've ever even seen the team they're showing up with. So they could come out looking like the Monstars.
Not even that. Have you seen their page? They actually recruited for this game. They recruited the best players in all of the state of Mexico, the country of Mexico, to come and play on that team just for that day.
I believe
so. I pretty much think it's gonna be. You got to realize Dallas got a 42-year-old running back. They got a 40-year-old kicker, and they quarterback is like 36 or something. I think the best part of Dallas game is their receiving core. They do got a nice receiving core. They got 2 D linemen who are dogs. I don't think that's going to be enough with playing with the rest of the semi-pro players from the Dallas Prime.
We'll see for sure. I mean, I haven't paid that close of attention to the roster at this point, but here are a couple moves that have happened over the past couple of weeks. The main thing that stuck out to me was Louisiana made some moves. Brought in Keontae Chavis, who was recently cut, I think by Pueblo. Correct me if I'm wrong, Krish.
Sioux City.
Sioux City. My mistake.
No, Keontae was cut by Pueblo.
That's what I thought.
Pueblo, Sioux City. I thought Sioux City. No.
I thought he was with Pueblo. Yeah, Pueblo Punishers released. Okay. Man, Krish, I trusted you. I'm hurt. Dallas Reigns signed with Colorado officially. I thought he was with them the whole time, so kind of weird it took him that long. Yusuf Bey signs with Amarillo. He's a two-way player. He can play offensive line or defensive line. A little bit of an undersized guy, but pretty strong for his size.
Hey, any insight on this lovely receiver from Southwest Kansas from West Liberty? I was so excited to watch him play. Christopher Charles, over 3,000 all-purpose yards, 19.7 yards per catch. Man, he was a big playmaker for Southwest. Wonder what happened there.
You know, who knows? Who knows? Stuff happens all the time. Players refuse to report all the time. You know,
Or he
quick to
might
sign on the dotted
got
line.
outplayed. He might have got outplayed. You never know. It's younger, hungrier players. Just because you a dog don't mean you can't get outworked or outplayed. You got to think about this. This is competitive football.
That's fair. That's fair.
I do want to point out the Omaha Beef. They did sign Brandon Stewart. He's a legendary kicker in indoor football. I think he has one more record to go. He needs to hit that record and be pulled out of the game. They need to develop that young kicker they have from Iowa State. He doesn't need to be playing any more than one quarter. So take him off the field as soon as he hits
He
the
was
record.
with Sioux City recently, wasn't he?
No, Brandon Stewart's like 42. He's old.
Yeah, I know, but sorry, not recently, I guess. But he played with Sioux City a few years ago, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look back.
Oh, I need to do my NAL. We need to do our NAL picks though, like officially. So
Krish prophesizing up in here.
I am.
This is a building team. I don't think the attitude is 10-0. It's to be competitive and build on this. Not everyone is Beaumont. I like that point. Not everyone is Beaumont. Remember, those kids are hungry too. Coach analyzing like a pro. This is their chance to be viewed playing American football in U.S. Best chance some of them will get to see to get signed, which is fair. That game is going to be lit. Up north, y'all may not understand the Mexican spirit. I believe they're going to ball out. No, I completely agree. Like I said, there's some really good players down in that LFA. So, I would not count anybody out. There's a couple local quarterbacks down there that really could sling it. So, there's like 4 guys that are former prime players, but my goodness, I didn't realize Dallas's roster is that old. Krish got to miss at least once, right? Krish misses all the time. Don't let him fool you. His bravado makes you think he might be undefeated and never pick wrong, but he definitely picks wrong a lot.
He's never wrong, just early.
Exactly.
We should get that on a t-shirt too while we're putting statements. Why all the lines on my bookie with the Dallas kicker? That is kind of weird. What's going on with that? Anybody have any idea?
He is like a social media like sensation or something. I think that's why they signed him because he got a huge following on social media. So I think it was a publicity thing. That's one of the older persons. I think he's like 40-some years old too.
Gotcha. A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, I'll take Team Mex with the upset. Don't fool me, Krish. All right. So okay, let's do our NAL picks. So I think really, we can pick all the games, but there's really not any. I don't feel there's any need to pick 2 of the games, personally. But let's go. First game up is St. Joe's Bucks versus the Omaha Beef. Let's go to Krish first.
Yeah, so for me, obviously Omaha, but it's more than that, right? I'm looking at Demery Croft. It's his first game on the field. We've been hearing about him all off season. I'm looking for how that releases. Is the ball still coming out like Anthony Richardson, or is it better? Right? Is it coming out faster? Is he more efficient with the ball? If he turns over the ball even once, I'll be highly concerned. Right? So I'm interested to see how the running game is with Otis Odom and David Roth. I know Otis Odom was with the Goats recently, coach. So you know your boy. Do you believe Otis Odom is ready to be a starting running back in the NAL?
Yes. Just like I told you, and you're going to see, I told you Jannard Nunley is ready to be a starting running back in the IFL. And from what I'm hearing, he's number 1 running back down in New Mexico right now. And Demond Street.
No, it's good. So I see your comment too. Omaha lost last year. That's because I feel like
They
it.
played the Arena Killers though. It's a totally
Yeah,
different team
it's
they
not.
played last year than they playing this year. I do want to see the Omaha. I do want to see what Demery Croft do because I'm team Tyler Lawrence team. So I think he should be the guy. Shout out to my other player who's I heard been doing good out there. Tyler Meeks has been one of the top DBs out there at Omaha. So I think they got a chance. They got the guy from Beaumont too. That's a nice addition. So I think they just spread out. They can do like it comes down honestly to their quarterback play. Who's gonna be the best fit for them? That's who's gonna decide if they're gonna win it or not.
Yeah, there are 4 quarterbacks coming into camp for Omaha: Derek Curtis, PJ Thomas, Demery Croft, and Tyler Lawstein. But there's only 2 legit ones out of those 4, in my opinion. So
Yeah, it's only a two QB fight. You know that.
yeah, we all know that. But yeah, I got Omaha winning this game. I think Omaha wins 80 to, let's say, 80 to 7. I think they're going to score.
Oh, I'm definitely not doing score predictions. I'll be way off. Cody, who do you have in this game? You're going with St. Joe's, right?
You bet not.
No, it's Omaha. I mean, there's no explanation or anything. I'm not. It's not a knock on Krish or anything. I'm not looking at Demery Croft or anything. It's just it's Omaha.
Fair. TJ, Omaha, right?
If Omaha loses, I'm gonna go hide in a cave somewhere. Okay.
I thought you were going to renounce your fandom there for a minute, and then you reel it back in.
If
Coach B
Omaha
is,
loses, I will shave Krish's head.
sounds good. He's going to need it. He definitely will not be shaving his head for 7 other bets this year. That's for sure. I apologize. My eyes all of a sudden bothering me. Coach B, what is your pick in this game?
Omaha. If they were playing like the Kansas City Panthers or the Kansas City Bulldogs, one of the actually national top semi-pro teams from Missouri who can play with Detroit Ravens and them, I would be a little nervous. But they're playing the St. Joe Bucks. It's not they a mediocre team out of Missouri semi-pro. So the Omaha Beef should dominate this game.
Bucks are the St. Joe Goats identifying as the Bucks. Hey, it's been done before. Much like
No.
the Minnesota or the Minneapolis Warriors who beat the Omaha Beef last year with a bunch of Minnesota Monsters players or, Harbor Monster players.
But you got them Harbor Monster players was mostly original Minnesota Warriors too. You got to realize a lot of them players
Okay.
play for the semi-pro team before they even play for Duluth.
That's
So
fair. I did not know that.
yeah, like Cody Hammerhall and them, they really had that team. They was one of the national top semi-pro teams in the whole United States.
I was not aware of that. Just look at the insane odds they put on last week's game and the Dallas game this week.
I accidentally ate all the hearts because I listened.
I love it.
All righty. Ignore that. Colorado versus Pueblo. Krish, I know you're picking Pueblo.
No, for me, I look at this game defined by line play. Pueblo's offensive line is terrible. I can't count how many times Hollins got pressured last week. It had to have been over 11. He was under pressure the entire game. He's running out the pocket against Colorado's elite front. They got Sam Hammond, Jack Robinson. They got dogs up in there, and Byron Cooper in the linebacker room. Their DBs though are new, right? Trayvon Mosley is the only DB returning for Colorado this year. They got Dylan Thomas back there, and they got I believe a semi-pro DB coming in. They have 4 healthy DBs entering this game, which is kind of shocking for Coach Shaw. They have 4 healthy DBs and 6 wide receivers coming in. So someone might have to play both ways at some point in time if there's an injury. So for me, I'm looking at can Pueblo sustain an entire game with that offensive line? And I don't believe so. I believe their defense proved last week they can play physical and they can play fast. Their identity of their team will be defense till Coach Solo and them get better linemen in there, which will happen after this week in my prediction. I like Colorado to win this game 42-21. I think it's going to be a good. They'll pull away towards the end. I think Paxton Lynch will have a good game. And one player I'm excited to watch is Devontae Jackson. This is his first game in a couple years, right? Former Harlan Hill finalist, Denver Broncos camp guy. He was in CFL for a little bit as well. Vegas Nighthawk as well too. So I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited to see, do they work him in? Does Lex Rosario get touches for him to smooth in a little bit? Like, how do they work that in with the running game for Colorado, and how aggressive do they want to be there? I'm looking at that, and I think Pueblo, I think they have weapons, man. I mean, their work coming in, playing in this league. I know how good AD can be, right? But they have McSweeney on the other side of him. So they have pieces in Pueblo on offense. They just need to put it all together, and I think it'll take more than 1 week for them to do so. So 42-21.
He's drawing it.
I think that is borderline the nicest things you've said about Pueblo all year, honestly.
No, look, last week they showed me that they could play physical, and I know it was against a semi-pro team, but they play very physical on defense. And I think for once in a long time, you can say K has a defense that matches his identity, right? And that's fair to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair for sure. Cody, what are your thoughts?
The devilish side of me just wants to pick Pueblo so Krish can have a Krish out. But I think Colorado has this. I wasn't overly impressed with Pueblo last week. Not that I thought they were going to set the world on fire or anything like that, but I don't know. We're going into this with obviously a former NFL quarterback, so if he's worth his salt, you're going to see him light it up, man. I mean, maybe not in the first game as he needs to build chemistry and things like that, but at the same time, I think Colorado should win. I'm not going to do a score prediction or anything, but it should be a little bit of a handle win. I'm 14 points, maybe. So that's where I have it. Pueblo, if they can keep it close, they can make it interesting, but I think Colorado is probably just going to wear them down at the end.
Fair. TJ?
Yeah, same. I think Colorado's it's gonna be a closer game than it would be, say, mid-season, because Lynch, you can practice, you can visualize, you can think about it, but at the end of the day, he's gonna have to have some in-game actual action adjustment to the different angles, less linemen, just the overall difference in the game itself. But like Cody said, I think they're going to have the lead. They're going to hang on for most of the game, and then they'll probably pull away, tack on a score or two at the end just to, solidify things.
I have a question for the group. Does Lynch go under center tonight, or does he go in the gun? What are we thinking?
Gun.
It's gun. I mean, he did that in Memphis. Gun. He did that in the NFL, man. He might go under center if there's sneaks or like goal line opportunities, but no, he's probably going gun.
I agree with Devontae Jackson. Them bringing him in, definitely gun.
Yeah, I think it just gives him a couple more.
I see him going under the gun, 4th and 1 or something like that. He going under the gun, that big ass frame. You're gonna push him right through for the first down.
Yeah, true. 6'7", 220, 230, or whatever he is. I knew as soon as I said that, somebody was gonna point that out. Coach B, who do you have in this game?
I got Colorado. Like Chris said, it come down to the line. I'm not sold on Pueblo's line, but I'm sold on Solo and JT as guys who are gonna get it fixed. I've had Josh Highlands, and I just don't think when things get rough, he's not ready for the big show yet. So it's gonna come down to how Josh play under the pressure with that defensive line of Colorado. But I think the deciding factor is gonna be who wins the battle between Pueblo's defensive line and Colorado's offensive line. And I'm pretty sold on Colorado's offensive line, especially Jug. Figueroa is a big time player. He's there. I think it's just gonna come down who win the battle of the trenches.
No, I think that's a fair assessment.
And I agree with Coach B. And one thing I would add for that is, Pueblo's defensive line is young. I know Coach. I think Elmore is a very talented player, but
I know he is.
And he adjusted in, and King Matua, another guy they have. I've been talking about him since the offseason, right? Former Alabama recruit, right? Went to Jackson State, Arkansas State, Florida, Memorial down there. So he's a talented player, but he hasn't played ball in 3 years. And I think in his mind, what he saw last week is what he might think he's seeing this week, and it's totally different. So that kind of adjustment, that gap is going to be quite an adjustment for them, in my opinion. So it's
Not even
yeah, it's going to be good.
Chris. You think about this. Keontae Chavez is with Louisiana. He had 4 or 5 sacks for Pueblo last week, and he wasn't even a sack leader. So their defensive line is pretty good.
Defensive line is aggressive. Their linebacker is Twan Ship. I think Twan Ship is going to be a star in this league. I like their defense. I like what they have defensively, but I just think
And Pueblo
Colorado,
get Jeff Luck this game too.
Jeff Luck is back. One thing I do want to ask Shady specifically, though, is last week Pueblo guarded Tyrell Thompson. They didn't play him or Aaron Dilworth. Is that a smart decision, or should they have played to get live game reps to be ready for this week?
Tyrell Thompson?
And an offensive lineman.
No, I think that's okay. I mean, he's a vet. He's a guy who can step right in and play. And I would imagine if you asked the coaching staff, they probably had a specific reason why they sat him. Like maybe he was slightly banged up. They wanted to make sure he was good for this week, whatever it may be. I don't think you just sit him and deal with the issues you had at the offensive line last week if you didn't think that, there was a reason for it, and maybe it was just that they wanted to see more out of Caden Berger. And, let's be honest, he showed that he didn't belong on the roster. So, he played himself right out of a roster spot. But on that note, I think they probably made the right choice. I mean, I don't know all the stories as far as why they sat him, but I would have guessed it probably had something to do with wanting to see if they had something in, another lineman and get him reps in the game.
See, all offseason we've been talking about Pueblo's offensive line.
Yeah.
Now we're entering game day and they have 3 healthy linemen entering game day. So if someone gets hurt,
are you counting Jeff Luck?
Jeff Luck can play both ways?
Yes, he can.
Like good both ways? Or?
I mean, he played some offensive line, I believe, when he was with Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I could be wrong. I know he's played offensive line in the past because he was signed with the AFL in 2024.
Okay.
Now he may not. It's obviously not his primary position, but I know he's played it a couple times throughout the years. And actually, I think that was something that that Tay had mentioned when he brought up the signing of Jeff Luke. So that is something to watch. They technically do have him who could play both ways, and maybe that's what they're figuring. He's the fourth.
My point on this too with Paxton Lynch coming in, talking to him when I interviewed him, I talked to him off camera for about 30 minutes. He's really locked in for this opportunity, and he said he's willing to run if he has to. So he's willing to put his body on the line, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And I think him playing a system with a great offensive line, great receivers, because I'm not making excuses for him, but in the UFL, man, he played on the Michigan Panthers when they were terrible. He played on the Orlando Guardians when they were terrible. Now he's on a good team with good pieces around him. I think the sky's the limit, in my opinion. So.
We'll see. I mean, we can say whatever we want about the UFL and stuff, but we also can't say the same about what happened with him in the NFL. So he had good opportunities in the NFL. And I mean, here in Denver, if I remember correctly, it was Trevor Siemian, a former 7th-round pick that played his way into the starting role when Paxton was ultimately replaced. So, I mean, you look at that and you have to kind of wonder. And then you also look at the fact that Paxton has been benched every single location he's ever played and started in the professional ranks. So not necessarily in college. Obviously had a great college career. That was why he was a 1st-round pick. But that has happened every.
There's also a general thought process out there that his release might not be conducive to the indoor style of play. How he has a high release. So
yeah, which. We'll see. I mean, we can sit here and speculate and project and all that stuff all we want, but we'll see tonight, whether he's the real deal and he can make it work or not. Now, I will say that I think the fit with Shaw is good. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think if he was on really any other team in the league, I'd question it a little bit more. But with Shaw, I think in that offense, I think it makes sense. They had Andre Sell last year, who again he can run, but he's not. You're not your typical thought for a dual threat quarterback. So I think that's kind of exactly what you're getting out of Paxton Lynch. You're just getting perhaps a higher quality passer, which I think Shaw in the right situation, I think Lynch and Shaw together can dice up the league. So we'll see how things go. But I do think it's going to take some time. And actually, I'm picking Pueblo tonight, primarily because of the fact that Josh Hollins has that experience. He's going to come in, he's played indoor ball. Nothing's going to surprise him, and maybe he's not the highest ceiling player in the world, but right now he's a really high floor player from Pueblo, whereas the floor for Paxton Lynch could be pretty bad. We've seen it before where NFL players struggle or former outdoor players struggle to adapt to the indoor game. I don't think Pueblo is going to win by a lot. I think if they do win, it's probably going to be a squeaker, probably going to be on a late score. But at the same time, I'm just giving them the edge based on a little bit more indoor experience on their roster currently. And like, I forget who said it specifically, so I apologize, guys, but somebody specifically said that this is going to be a closer game earlier in the season than it will be later. Completely agree with that sentiment. Later on in the season, Colorado's probably going to steamroll Pueblo once they kind of get rolling and get gelling. But I think right now Pueblo has a little bit of an edge, and it's up to them to obviously, play smart. Don't rack up penalties like was mentioned in the chat. Play good football, protect the football, don't turn it over. If you can do those things, I think there's a scenario where you can come out with an early victory and maybe even, show some people in the league you're better than they thought, and we'll see.
Just expect, a really chippy game, ton of penalties I'm expecting, but which team can control their emotions throughout the entire game, in my opinion?
100%, which I will say, anybody who's watched this show, I love Tay Brooks. He's my guy. Like, love that dude. Couldn't speak highly enough about him. He is an emotional dude. So if his team is channeling his energy, it could come back to bite him.
But I don't think he'll be coaching.
Man, remember Tay's not. He can't coach this game.
Yeah, I know.
That's why Aaron Dilworth was out last week too because he couldn't play last week because of a lead issue.
Right. And you're not wrong. And I know he won't be there.
It'll be fun.
Or won't be coaching, but
do an interview. Live interview.
Coach Solo got the defense. Don't worry about it, baby. You got JT calling the offense, Solo calling the defense. They're gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, if there's one concern I've got about Pueblo, it's not coaching. Personally, I think they've got the coaching staff to get it done as far as that goes. But
I will say, Coach Terry, JT down there, he's an underrated part of that staff. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
The most underrated. He's probably one of the best unseen coordinators out here yet. Just ain't got. Look what he did at Omaha. He won a championship and nobody signed him as an OC after that. That's crazy.
Fair. So we got a little off track. We're still picking NAL games, an hour into our NAL segment. Kind of crazy how long this is taking. But Team Mexico versus the Dallas Bulls. Let's go around the horn pretty quick. Let's go Coach B first on this one.
Team Mexico.
Oh, damn. All right. Should have seen that dagger coming. All right. Let's go to TJ next.
Team Mexico.
Man, Cody?
Mexico.
Krish?
Dallas Bulls and Gerard Evans.
I almost thought Krish was going to go for the sweep. I'm actually going to pick Dallas as well. Krish, what are your thoughts on the Lightning and Bandits game?
Sioux City, and who is going to be the starting? I want everyone to answer this when you get your go around. Who's going to be the starting quarterback entering the season? Verlon Reed or Lorenzo Brown? I got Lorenzo Brown and Sioux City.
Cody?
I mean, it's a non-league game, so I'm going with Sioux City. And to answer Chris's question, I don't care because it's a non-league. I think both guys are going to get in, and whoever rocks it better in that game is probably going to be the starter for the actual start of the league.
Krish, to clarify your question, are you talking about for next week who will start?
Yeah, going in the season.
Gotcha. Okay, Cody.
Right. Oh, I mentioned it. I said whoever. I think both guys are going to get in the game, whether Lorenzo plays first half or Verlon plays second half, vice versa. Whatever, however they divvy it up, and then whoever probably has like the better stat line, however they go about it, is probably going to get the nod. And again, I'm not going to say it's a short leash, but what I'm going to say is like it's not going to be afraid to have someone get pulled in favor of the other guy. Now that might ruffle some feathers up there, but at the same time, that's how I kind of see it, man. This is not a game in the standings when it comes to that, and you go from there.
It's fair. TJ, what are your thoughts?
Sioux City, Lorenzo Brown.
All right. Coach B?
I got Sioux City, and I think Berlin Reed played a lot this game, but to start the season, it's going to be Lorenzo Brown. I just feel Lorenzo got a chip on his shoulder for what happened in Omaha, and he coming back with a revenge tour.
Okay. Actually, I agree with everything you guys just said. For the most part, Sioux City is going to win this game for sure. I expect to see probably a half and a half of both quarterbacks, and I expect it to be a pretty close race between the two guys. But I do think Brown is going to end up being the day one starter. I think you bring back Verlon Reed because he's willing to play there no matter what happens. But at the end of the day, I think Brown probably presents the better option currently, given everything that they have both done over the past couple of years. But we're going to hit a quick commercial break. I know it's been a kind of a long one so far. Then we'll transition over to the IFL and AF1. We don't have a ton. We're just kind of do a season preview for both for the IFL and kind of recap the transactions for the AF1. So if you're
I'm
looking for
picking
those,
Louisiana.
What's that?
We never picked Louisiana Amarillo.
Oh, shoot. My bad. Okay, Louisiana Amarillo.
Louisiana.
Amarillo.
Amarillo, remember, Coach Blakely not coaching this game, so Coach Anderson, Amarillo.
Man. Who's Amarillo's quarterback now with Gatson gone?
Tylan Shaw.
Yeah, I'm going Amarillo. That's tough, but I'll go Amarillo on that one for sure. All right, so just a quick reminder to hit the like button. And before we go to break, giving you guys some time to make sure you go get these steps done. If you want to win a piece of the Sioux Falls Storm Terp, your opportunity is now. It is completely free to enter this drawing. So here are the steps. Follow Indoor and Arena Football History on TikTok or Arena and Indoor Football History and News on Facebook and find the contest keyword. Join our mailing list at shadysportsnetwork.com. Comment the Comment the contest keyword live during the Around the Indoor Football World. It has to be live though. Has to be live. You have to be watching live. Comment live. But there's a flip side. If you're watching earlier during the Sammy Strong segment, you can now enter a second way. You can go about donating to Sammy Strong Foundation, and you will get a photo similar to this. Send us a screenshot of this picture right here. And if you send it to us, you will automatically be entered. No further action needed. This will just, hopefully, if anything, prompt a few other people to take the time to go donate to Sammy Strong, which we believe is a great cause. Obviously, as I mentioned before, if you can't support a foundation that is supporting families who are going through pediatric brain cancer, what can you support? I'm not quite sure. So on that note, we're going to hit a quick commercial break, and it seems appropriate to play an Omaha Beef commercial.
How many times a week? Like three or four times, maybe. I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
as always, shout out to our partners that make this show possible. Those at the Omaha Beef, Louisiana Rouxgaroux, Wheeling Miners, Columbus Lions, as well as the AAL and AAL2, and all of our other sponsors that we have in the description of the show. As always, if you want to support the show, you can always go purchase something through one of our affiliate sponsors and we get a kickback, and that helps, kind of pay the bills around Shady Sports Network. So we appreciate all that support along the way. And we also appreciate all of our partners at the teams just mentioned. So on that note, we're going to move on to the IFL. Very, very obviously, we are in March. So that means it is the thick of indoor football season. At this point, it's only going to be leagues kicking off and getting their season started. So we will move into our IFL predictions. And what better way to start this one off than have Cody give his breakdown of the first game or thoughts on the first game of the season. Give me just a sec. I'll get the schedule pulled up here in just a moment. But before we get into that, Cody, I wanted to give you the floor. You're a little bit frustrated about a fact about the IFL. So I wanted you to kind of like give us the reasoning why you're so frustrated with the IFL currently.
Lack of transparency, man. I mean, it'll be off the top of the dome. I don't have anything prepared. If you guys don't watch, I actually highly encourage this though. I broaden your horizons, go watch podcasts and episodes and stuff like that. Not just of the IFL, but NAL, stuff like that. There's plenty of content creators. Go watch my stuff too, shameless plug. But Strictly Business is the Green Bay podcast, and it's Kathy Trinkler, the owner, and let's say Ryan, I can't remember his last name, but they talk, and she had some information when it comes to just the contracts that have not gotten done yet after they parted ways with FanDuel. We are literally 1 week away from the season. We still have not had an announcement of who the new broadcast partner is going to be. Now, the issue is not that it's going to be announced, because it will eventually be announced, but the issue that I take with it is it's announced a week before the season. It gives no planning to anyone that, you've got a week to plan of where you're going to watch these games. If you have the TV channel, if you have the cable package, if you have this or that, when just a couple weeks ago, Ari, and I think Jared Windman, Brent Stover, all these people were on Off the Wall saying everything is going to be free. And now you have Kathy saying that this new broadcast partner is going to be behind a paywall, and saying, oh, well, everything is behind a paywall and that's where it's going to be. And we all, as consumers, were a part of this, because you want to watch the NFL, you got to go through 8 different paywalls. No one wants to go through a paywall. I think that's the end of the argument. Like, no one wants to go through a paywall. It's because people want the money. And I have no problem paying a paywall, but the fact is we don't know how much it's going to be. We don't know who it is. I think she slipped something in there in that said something along the lines of, okay, I hear you, Mike, but at the same time, she's saying something along the lines of they've never done football before. That doesn't really breed like a lot of confidence for me, man. It's something along the lines of where it's like, it's frustrating to know that we are a week away from the season and we are still in the dark about so much. The website still needs to be updated. We do not have a transactions page. There's still no stats. There's nothing like that. They've wiped most of their news articles off of that. If you try and find an old article, it just takes you to a 404 page. So it's horrible, horrible timing for everything that's gone on. And I get it. There's a process to everything. There's a process to the contracts. There's a process to all of this. But from the offseason last year, this has been stuff that's been a work in progress for years and years and years to get these broadcast partners on the table, to get all of this stuff done. You figured you'd have it all ready to go. And I get it. Stuff falls through the cracks. It's fine. I'm not mad about that. What I'm mad about is how close you are to the start of the season. How close you are to the start of the season where you're still leaving people in the dark on where to go. And I get it. It's an instant gratification world. I want to be instantly gratified just like everyone else. But at the same time, we are at this point where you are a point and click away of just trying to figure stuff out. Mike, I hear you, but there's no stats to be had, but you can still go through the archives and see stats and players and stuff like that from previous seasons. All of that's been wiped as well.
That's
so if you want a player from 2023 who wants to pull up his stats for a different team or something to get back into the league, he can't find it.
That's an issue for sure. I was not aware of that. This is the case in point on why each of these leagues should have their own network, even if it costs a measly $30 a year. Yeah, 100% Texas Pete. And actually, you and I obviously spent time talking about this yesterday off camera, Pete. But at the same time, I feel like even if it's just as a catch-all, even if the sole purpose of your network is literally just to be the one-stop shop where you can watch every game. I think Cody spoke on this last week or the week before. That has value. I would pay $30 for that. And at first I was a hater on the IFL network. I didn't like the fact that it was going to be behind a paywall, but you know what? It was convenient.
No,
I didn't have
I was
to
the biggest
go.
hater with that, man.
Yeah.
I was the biggest hater saying we don't need this, but you have to put it in the context of what they were doing was taking games off of YouTube where everything was free and then putting it behind a paywall. And then you got people used to that. And now you're saying now it's going to go back to being free on Yahoo and FanDuel and whoever, to now you have to pay for the paywall again when we were told it's going to be free, which at this point just put it all behind a paywall. Another issue that I take with it is in that podcast episode, Kathy said that the games that are archived on the IFL network are going to take a week for you to watch, and it didn't take a week last year. They were already on there. So if they're being broadcast on the Indoor Football Network and then sent out to Yahoo and all of that stuff, why can't you get them the night of or 24 hours after? Even the NFL Network doesn't really do that. You can get those games practically on demand. Like you can watch those live through the network. I don't know why you can't simulcast that stuff and pay the $30 and everything like that. I would gladly do that.
That's fair. And I think that's probably the way it should be, a simulcast situation where you have it simulcast on the app and you also have it simulcast on a free service such as Yahoo or whatever, because obviously you want it accessible to new potential casual fans, not the people like us who are podcasting about the IFL and are going to pay the money regardless of what happens because we want to see the games. So, obviously we are not the target market for things like Yahoo and the free services. So as far as that goes, I think it has a place. I just think at the end of the day, having that one-stop shop where you can find everything without searching behind 84 different streaming services, I think has its value. Yahoo is a free. You will be able to get them if you are a member the next day. Otherwise, it's a week. So you can watch them on IFL Network for free after a week if you don't have an account for free. Is that what you're saying, Coach? Because if that's the case, that makes all the sense in the world to me. But if it's a situation where you have to pay that $30 and then wait a week, that's a problem. There's no point for paying for that at that point. Finding that content now is like finding a needle in a haystack, 100% on IFL Network. Chris, you sitting in a judge chair. Not every game, but every coach's show and team content should be on the NAL app as well and the IFL app as well, I would think.
Well, for last year when they started out, Kathy said that they were going to put strictly business behind the paywall there, and said eventually all of that stuff is going to move behind the paywall, and it clearly hasn't. So there's issues with that, I'm sure. And then I don't know that. And again, the issue that I took that they were supposed to have the Inside the IFL a couple days ago, and that didn't happen. When they're supposed to have Tryon talking with is it Eric Van Beek, I think is his name, and they're supposed to have like that podcast, and that didn't happen. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, like I said, I get that they're busy. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They've got a billion things going on at once, but you've had a billion things going on for a billion days, man. Like you've got to figure this stuff out. It's as simple as that. It seems like every year that happens, there's something that always just like rears its ugly head. Can you have an off season where eventually, yes, you're doing bigger and better things, but can you iron out these details? You've got to be transparent with this stuff and say, hey, and that's what Kathy's doing. And that's where I give credit to her and respect and everything, where she's actually on there going, hey, this is taking time. The legal stuff is taking time. We value your patience, but we're not hearing it from the actual commissioner himself. I get he's busy too, but it shouldn't have to take just one owner on their own podcast. We need to hear it and say, hey, there's that. Because if you can put out a statement saying we're severing ties with FanDuel, we got to be able to know what's going on. You don't have to know all the nitty gritty, but you got to let the fans know.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Cody, I don't agree with that. If you're a commissioner, you can't never be too busy for the league, the state of the league. And every league, I think all commissioners should be able to keep fans transparent and up to date. That's just your job as a commissioner. Run the league and make the league float. You like you said, you never see in the NFL, they website is never down. Transactions and all that stuff is still up. You got if you want to say you the best league, you gotta move like the best league. Like always keep your web page up to date. Always keep your stuff on your web page up to date. That goes for every league because all the web pages are not ideal in each league. We got to be more consistent, like Adrian said. You got to be more consistent. The league does. The teams is promoting the league, so the league should be promoting these teams and the league as well. You got to be more consistent around the horn to be able to say you're that lead or this is where you need to be at. Like I don't see it from no league.
Right, and I wanted to clear it here. That's not just like I'm not sitting there going like I hate the IFL or anything. It's just like I love this league. I want this league to succeed. I've been covering them the way I have for the last 3 seasons. I've been watching them since 2015, man. Like this league is going places, and that's where I see it. I see the potential. I see everything that's going on with it, and that's for me a good thing. To have Yahoo, to have Stadium, to have Caffeine a couple years ago, to have CBS Sports, to have Brent Stover and all these, broadcasters and everything like that. It's a huge thing. But I know that also comes with a lot of legal stuff. It comes with a lot of contracts. It comes with all of these things that you have to hammer down too. I don't know if they just had a little too short of a runway. I try and stay patient, but at some point we're literally 1 week away from the kickoff of the season. You have to get these small details right, whether it's the website, whether it is the FanDuel stuff. I get it takes time, but you have to have this stuff hammered down. You just have to.
Cody, my thing is, if you ain't got all that done, don't announce it. And then we won't be asking about it. Don't announce it until your contracts are done. Don't announce your agreement until the partnership is fully set in stone. That way we ain't gotta ask about it.
I'll stick up for the IFL on that one. They announced FanDuel because they said, hey, we've got it. But there was no broadcast schedule or anything, and eventually they went under. FanDuel did, or FanDuel Sports Network. So it's like you kind of knew, a lot of people knew the writing was on the wall with that, but they were trying to figure out, hey, what's going on here? Are they going to be sold to DAZN or DAZN or however it's pronounced? Are they going to be going with a different person? We don't know what's happening to FanDuel Sports Network, so we're trying to ride this out as much as we can. So I will stick up for the IFL with that. We all kind of knew the writing on the wall, but at the end of the day, they tried to write it out as long as they could because they had that contract in place. It fell through, so eventually they just had to kind of sit there and eat it and go, yeah, we screwed up. So I get where they're coming from with this. They have to find a new partner, and they're trying to with that. I just hope that wherever it is, whoever it is, whatever paywall, what have you, it provides the same content or like the same exciting content that the IFL network does as well. And you're still able to access all of that stuff on demand, watch the games. If there's interviews, podcasts, whatever, it's all good. That's what I'm hoping for. I wait with bated breath because we just don't know.
Fair point for sure. We're going to move into the picks for this week. We spent enough time on on that subject, but I need to step away. Krish, do you mind running through the games real quick?
Yeah, so we'll start with Coach B. What do you got for those two? For these two? You're on mute. Hold up. No, I got you. Yeah. I think it's still muted.
Can you hear me now, fellas?
Yeah. Yep.
Man, the Vegas Green Bay game is going to be so intense. I don't understand. And I honestly don't know. I don't have a pick for that because I love Coach Davis and him. But I know Coach up there in Green Bay has got a chip on his shoulder and he is going to be ready. So I'm not even going to put a pick on that game. I'm going to let it play out. I do think Fisher might upset Quad City, but Quad City is a team that's still going to be reckoned with in the IFL.
Yeah, so for me, Quad City, I'll start with Quad City and Fisher. I like Fishers to win this game, 41-38. I think they have all the momentum on their side. Their defense, I like their defense a little better than Quad City's. Quad City just had a huge loss in the secondary with Jackson refused. He was on RTR, so that's a huge loss for them. I like what Indy has going, so I'm going to give him a 3-point lead. I think CJ Wyndham to that offense is huge. You know, another firepower piece they can add to the board. So I like that for them. I know Keon and them in Quad City, but I definitely like Indy to win this game. And then Green Bay and Vegas, you know, when I look at Vegas, I look at the D-line and I look at the new identity they're going to have on defense. I mean, they got Trent Tatum at linebacker, right? They're young DBs, everything they have. Green Bay, while they, you know, rumor is they signed Tyreek Chambers from Bay Area, which we'll get into that. That's a huge move. Can Liam Thompson read the field and make the throws he needs to make? And I don't believe so. I think this is his first real starting action. He started one game against us last year, and he looked really rattled in the game he played against us. So he's not going to even have nearly as much time as the offensive line gave him last year, too. And he was under pressure. So I like Vegas. I think that they have enough offensive firepower. Another thing, too, is the linebacker room in Green Bay. You know, Green Bay lost Andre White from Georgia Tech, and he was one of the more consistent linebackers in the league. So they replaced him with Juwan Mitchell, who hasn't played football in 3 years, and a 33-year-old Jordan Cry from the tryout in Detroit. So that's not really the best replacement for someone like that. And, you know, Juwan Mitchell played at 5 different schools, you know, during his collegiate career. So I like Vegas. I think Josh Tomas out the backfield in the receiving game is going to have a crazy game. I think Josh Tomas will score 2 to 3 times in this game. So give me Vegas 45-28 over Green Bay. What do you got, Cody?
I'm going to piss some people off. I got Fishers. I think Fishers is just built, man. I love Quad City. I want them to pull the upset. Fisher's defensive line is absolute nasty, filthy good. What they've brought back is amazing. And the offensive line that they have brought back is absolutely nasty, filthy good. And if both those trenches are working on all cylinders first game of the season, Quad City is going to have a little bit of an issue. Now, Quad City does have a little bit of an issue on the offensive line, trying to figure out who that third guy is going to be, or maybe even the second guy. And I think that's something that Fishers can take advantage of. That could help, or that could hurt Quad City in the sense of trying to get their timing correct in the first game of the year between the chemistry of DeQuan Neal, Kean Williams, Jordan Vesey, what have you. They do have a very veteran offense. I do like that, but the offensive line is going to be a key for me when it comes to Quad City. Defensively, I love the Steamwheelers defense. But how do you replace Bubba Arslanian? And I think if you are able to work that middle of the field for Fishers, Felix Harper, hopefully he can start the entire season. And what they've brought back with Josiah King and Dominic Roberto can help minimize that. You get the running game going, and then, oh, hey, there's CJ Wyndham. There's JT Stokes. This is going to be a good game. This might be game of the week. I think Fishers is just a little bit better. And I hate to say that because we know Quad City's going 16-0. But I do think Fishers pulls out this victory, man. I do. Unfortunately, I hate to say that because there are scenarios where I see Quad City winning, but the more I think about it, the more I think Fishers at home, start of the season, they've got it going. Vegas and Green Bay. How you've brought in allegedly Tyrese Chambers, but you do bring in Trayvon Alexander. You've got a very good offensive line for Green Bay. How does Liam Thompson go? And we've seen that offense for a while. They do run the ball really well while you're breaking in 3 new guys running the ball. Vegas doesn't care. Vegas is going to get after you. The issue that I have with Vegas is their secondary. A lot of those guys are gone. They've been promoted UFL, CFL, and that's a good thing. If you can take advantage of that secondary in the first game, Green Bay can keep it close. But if that pass rush and that run and that defensive line can shut down, like Krish mentioned, Trinelius Tatum, if that front four can shut down Green Bay's running game and force them to throw, it could be a trial by fire with that secondary. I think Vegas looks really, really good in that realm. We are anointing Liam the starter, but at the same time, whether it's Cole Stenstrom or Demylon Brown, we have no idea. Like I said in the Green Bay preview, I'm basing it just on the prior experience. For Vegas, I mean, Jaden Delores' encore performance, he's going to be the full-time starter most likely with everything that they've brought back with Josh Tomas coming in, Johnny Wimbush 2.0. There's some foreshadowing for your Vegas preview tonight. Check out In the Alley, shameless plug. Vegas is just good, man. I think Vegas is going to pull this out. It's going to be 14 to 17 point victory, not dominating by any means, but again, something where you will start to see kind of the rookies of Green Bay say, hey, we don't have this against the defending champs. Vegas is going to pull away there at the end. That's how I see it. I think the offense for Vegas is going to be able to take advantage of the defense. Now, Green Bay's defensive line, very nasty, filthy good as well, bringing in Tavon Grant and Jonathan Ross with Sean Mustin and Allen Henry. This defense can make people pay, but I think with what they've lost with Cale Jackson, Kevin Ransom, and Nigel Canada in the secondary, I think Vegas can take advantage of that. Yes, they brought in some guys, but I think Vegas, with what they have, I think they can take advantage.
I do want to mention too, when Vegas wins next week, it'll be Coach Davis's 80th career win all time. So
he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, you don't think he has that in mind, beating the team he just beating the championship for his 80th career win on their home turf.
Coach Davis, are you picking Vegas or Green Bay?
It's the only quarterback that can really start over Liam Thompson and Demlin Brown, in my opinion. And I think Cody will agree too, because he fits the offensive style better than Coach Stetson, who's a pocket passer.
It just depends on how they want to go about it, man. I'm not worried, but I want to see how the running game for Green Bay goes, because they've had that dual threat with Myler. They had Jerome Johnson for a couple of games, and then they had Kaimani Clark and Jalen Cagle at their running backs. They've had a very good tandem at the running game for a couple of years now. So to kind of upheave all that, those guys are all in Arizona practically. Where do you go from there? So I think again,
72 days, Coach. Strap up. We're coming.
So yeah, like I said, I think Vegas can take advantage of that, especially early. Green Bay does have the luxury of having this game at home, so that can help them out with their crowd and their fan base. But I think ultimately Vegas is on another warpath to repeat. So,
gotcha. So we got Cody having Vegas and QC. Krish, who did you pick? I'm sorry.
I picked Fishers. You were out of there, bud.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
I think Fishers right now. I think they're a better team. I think Fishers is the number one seed right now on paper. I think they're the number one seed in the East.
Okay, maybe I just wrote down QC because I assumed. I saw it. I'm sorry. But
no, we all said Fisher.
Well, if that's the case, then everyone picked Fishers, because that's how it happens in any other football sport, where everyone picks the same one and the upset happens. So let's go. Quad City by 40.
Well, wow. Okay. So everybody picked Fisher's Freight and Vegas, I assume then?
No, I didn't pick on the Vegas Green Bay game, and I don't think TJ gave us his picks yet.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go Coach B first then. Who do you have in that game?
Now I'm gonna go back. I got Fishers at first, so I'm gonna take Vegas. If it's Coach Davis' 80th win, he's going to get that. He's going to get that. That's history. He's going to get that.
TJ?
I'm going to go with Quad City and Vegas.
Oh, so you haven't given your...
You would be Quad City, TJ.
Yeah, exactly. I will say one thing, though. Like, Coach Davis type of guy, he's not like a me guy. So it's more about the we, right? So I'm sure, like, while the 80th win and not in the forefront of his mind, it's BS. He definitely has thought about it. I mean, I would think about it. I think that's a huge career accomplishment. And I told you, if he wins 80 games, it solidifies himself in Hall of Fame if he's not already in there. So
look at TJ being a true Quad City fan.
My opinion.
For the record,
any game this season with Vegas versus Mass Lando, Vegas by 20.
Yes, I was going to go Quad City as well. I've talked about it a lot lately. I am very, very intrigued by their offense. I think DeQuan Neal, and Kwion Williams are going to light up the league this year. And I think that Fisher's Freight is going to have a tough time in week one. And I could end up being wrong. Fisher's Freight is a great team, and it's a tough test out the box. But I think Quad City is going to come in. They're going to score a lot of points, and Fisher's Freight is going to struggle to keep up. Personally,
I worry about the running game for Quad City, because you've got Keon Mosey, you've got Jared Ware, and that defensive line for Fishers is so good for me. Yes, excuse me. Yes, they lose Tamar Hart. He's refused to report, so you have to fill in that linebacker gap. But at the same time, what Fishers has brought in the secondary, what they brought in on that defensive line, they could shut it down, man. All you have to kind of do is stop Keon Williams as a deep threat, stop Jordan Vesey as a deep threat. You might not be able to stop both of them. It could be a barn burner, man. We could be seeing a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just think ultimately Quad City will put up just a little bit more. But TJ, you didn't get a chance to explain yourself.
I do want to say something though. Like, I'm not delusional. If we played Vegas today, the spread would be Vegas by 15, right? But my point is you develop that throughout the season, right? To get to that level, you have to start somewhere, and I totally understand that. Like, don't worry, man. I want to bury Coach Davis into the retirement in 72 days. Like, that's what I
hey, dear Lord.
Like,
Chris, just imagine if y'all developing, Chris. What you think Coach Davis and that staff doing down there? They developing too, and if they already good, they're gonna be even better. So you just gotta play devil's advocate with that.
Hopefully they're tired and jet lagged, and Coach Davis is getting older. So
Coach Davis already has a Hall of Fame career, regardless of what else happens.
That's what I said. If he's not already in,
yeah, I would agree with that. I've changed my mind. I'm doing Vegas because of the 80th win. That's how close it is for me. TJ, you didn't get a chance to explain either of your picks, my friend. So you said Quad City and Vegas. I assume Vegas is primarily because you're a fan, despite the jersey or the shirt situation. Just kidding, Coach. Just kidding. So
I'm gonna keep getting my phone blown up, man, and I'm not even saying anything.
Why did you say Quad City? Why? I'm curious.
Quad City, man, I feel like Fishers, on paper, they have vastly improved. They're definitely going to be one of the better teams in the league this year. But it's just that gut feeling that Quad City, after the way last season ended, man, they're going to come out and with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to start off the year on a winning foot.
I agree.
I agree
with you. Apparently, Texas beat like that.
Not on a win though. I think they win the West, but they don't win this game. But I do think Quad City gonna be good on all three facets, especially special teams.
Disagree. Quad City loses Kyle Kaplan, man. Like, that was one of the best kickers in the league last year. In the last couple of years, they bring in Jan Brogdon, or Jan Brogdon, however he pronounces it. I'm not saying that he's going to be bad, but we just don't know. Rookie kicker, you always kind of have the yips with that. Now, they do have Keon Williams in the return game, so if that's where you're talking special teams, that's going to help them immensely.
I don't even think it's going to be Keon Williams. I think the returner is going to be Marquis Whitlock, the 4-2 guy. He's the sleeper on that team, and I guarantee he's got one to three TD returns in him this season.
Fair enough. With what I see with Fishers, though, and what they bring in, I think they're just going to be able to run the ball on him. I do. I think they're going to be able to run the ball on him. And then right when you think that Quad City has that run game pinned down, there's JT Stokes over the top. There's Isaiah Coulter over the middle. There's CJ Wyndham. There's Felix Harper taking off. I have a hard time seeing it, man.
But we had these high hopes for Fisher last year too. We had all these high hopes for Fisher last year with a nice roster, and then look what happened.
Did we? I didn't.
I did. Me and Chris did.
I did for sure. I was high on Fisher's fight last year.
They roster was immaculate, and look how it turned out. Yeah. So I like their roster, but I'm still sketchy at some point.
As I say, I'd have to look back. I don't think I had Fishers in the playoffs last year when I did my preview and predictions and stuff like that. I think they were close, and they did get close. All things considered, they were 7-9 last year, so they were one of the better. And I said this in their preview; they were one of the better expansion teams in their first year. So, all things considered, they're going to be better. We know that, but if they didn't lose 9 games in a row, they could have been in the playoffs. And there were some games there that they probably should have won that they let slip away. So, yeah,
that's fair.
Hell no. I see this comment. Okay.
Hold on a sec, Krish. Krish.
This is crazy.
TJ, I know you need to jump off. Have a good day, man. I appreciate you coming on this morning.
Appreciate you, TJ.
Oh, man, see you guys next week. Sounds like I'm getting off at the perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to miss a Krish rant. So, all right, we'll talk to you later, buddy. Thanks.
Enjoy all the games, everyone out there. See you next week.
Definitely. Can't wait to talk about him next week for sure. Have a great day, man. All right, go ahead, Krish. Proceed with Grant.
I gotta be a man. I gotta be a man. Look, our fearless leader, our captain. So I just want to clear up something. So for the rest of the season, when I say captain, I'm referring to Rob Keefe, and when I say fearless leader, I'm referring to Jawad. So captain, Coach Keefe, he mentioned that there would be 300 to 400 people at our tryout. Fortunately, we only got 40. I don't really know what happened.
That's a whole lot of silence there, Krish. I think that's the most silence you've ever been.
Can we hold on? I want to count really quick. Is 40 less than 300?
Yeah, I just don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
250.
You only had 40 players come out to a Florida tryout.
Look, it looks like
that's horrible. They don't believe in the Pirates, bro. They don't believe in the Pirates.
No, honestly, no. It's because I feel like we had a roster already. So it's like, although I will say positively, we signed this guy out of tryout, and I want to give this person a shout out. Zykeas Wright from the University of Houston, 6'6", 240, 4-year starter. Really excited for him, and I give him a lot of credit for going out and betting on himself and coming out to tryout. So he's fresh out the pen to be graduated in 24.
So what you're saying is X does not mark the spot for the tryouts.
They had a couple good players there, Chris, at the tryout. From what I'm hearing, I had some people there scouting. And
yeah, my boy Daquan Dudley, man, he made the trip out. Excited.
Houdini, Jalen Parker, the quarterback. Yeah, Daquan Dudley. They said he was the best. He was the best athlete out there at the tryout too.
Ask him about the bet.
I mean, that's not hard for him.
Nah, the bet was me and Coach Davis were gonna bet that if we had over 80, what was it? If we had under 80, I had to change my social media profiles to Vegas Nighthawk fan or whatever, super fan.
Oh, that's not bad.
You changed the jet.
So I kind of changed the bet because I'm hey, Coach D, man, he's an elder. So when an elder's trying to make a bet,
I ain't never known you to duck no smoke though.
I duck the smoke. I'm not gonna lie.
When it comes to the Mass Pirates, you don't duck. I mean, the Orlando Pirates, you don't duck smoke.
Mass Lando.
Yeah, Mass Lando.
That's the official name forever for the record. That's an inside joke on our group chat for the record. I always say Mass. I can't help it, so it always just comes out Mass Lando at this point.
So what was the bet for the other side? That if you had more than that, then Coach Davis had to change his stuff?
And I still want this too. My black Nighthawks hoodie, it's cold. Coach Davis has these new black hoodies or whatever. Yeah, I need my black Nighthawks hoodie.
You ain't earned it, bro. You ain't earned it.
Can we have the running joke, have Coach Davis come on here every week going, don't worry, TJ, I'll get it to you Monday. And it just never shows up. Every single time he gets on, he's like, I'll get it to you Monday. And then it's just
TJ
never in the mail.
To get his stuff.
So I was not aware of this. This is an interesting fact. Coach Dixie III is no longer with Fishers.
No, they got a new O-line coach.
Dixie Witten's son, right?
That's shocking.
Yes.
What happened? Is he coaching somewhere else, or I would love to know the story behind that. I was not aware
grounded.
of that.
Hey,
he got grounded.
What I do, I'll bring in a vet too. If I had a chance to bring in a real O-line coach, wouldn't you do it? No matter if it's my son coaching or not, I'm gonna take advantage of that opportunity.
I don't know, but if that is true and they have a different O-line coach, coaching's one thing, talent's another. If you can get the talent and the camaraderie that they had last season, they bring back practically their entire offensive line, man. They are good. So regardless of the coaching, you knew what you were doing last year. You can kind of just go out and replicate that. Obviously, there's going to be nuances to it, but you played 6 games with Felix Harper last year. I think that's enough of a litmus test to be like, this is what we're doing. And you bring in Devon Donaldson too. So I mean it's simple as that, man. Fisher's offensive line is going to be so good.
I was just looking.
I'm still so salty about Navag leaving us, man. That's my dog. Watching him go to Indy, I never thought it was possible. I thought he was going to be with us forever. I mean, he was a cornerstone of our franchise. So watching him go to Indy, it sucks.
Oh. Coach says he's been busy with camp. I didn't realize that Vegas wasn't camp. I don't think their season starts until next week.
It would be like the IFL to do everything last minute, right?
I'm just messing around.
Uh,
It'll be
Adrian's
a fun
fine,
week,
so-
man. I am so excited for this to kick off. I love how they kind of just like wet your beak a little bit with 2 games, and then they go kind of full fledged into it. I mean, it's nice to get these little like kickoff games. It's kind of like college football where you have like the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic between like Georgia and Auburn or something like that. I love it, and the fact that they're incorporating the Hall of Fame into it now. I mentioned this in one of the offseason updates I did, to actually have that be a part of it, to be like, hey, watch this, and we get to, put these guys in our Hall of Fame forever. That's a really cool idea, and I'm glad they came up with it.
I'm excited, man. We got 15 more days till our opener. We go down to New Mexico, man. Crime scene. I want to blow out.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all might. I'm actually taking New Mexico on the upset.
Yeah.
J Rock look good, man. J Rock look
Are you
good.
saying a crime scene because that's where Breaking Bad was, or like you guys are expected to win?
Expected to win by a lot.
I was actually, making sure that
Breaking Bad.
the Pirates aren't going to break that.
If Draymond Street gets hit even a little bit, like he will die. That's the level of talent.
Whoa, all right.
Hey,
the level.
He say stuff like that.
He done took bigger hits from bigger players that played in the league. So what are you saying?
Hey man,
all right, my point.
He knows what he's signing up for. All I'm saying, like, you got to be
If
prepared.
Damon Street have a breakout
game,
if Damon Street have a breakout game, or he even on the roster, because you said he wouldn't be, we got to put a little wager.
I said Gerard Lundy. No,
let's put a wager. Let's put a wager on it.
Okay, we'll do it off camera.
Whoever loses has to do the Vegas Nighthawks profile picture.
Yes.
I think Krish is going to bet shaving his head for the 700th time.
The man just loves to shave his head.
He ain't got enough hair for that. I'm just saying he ain't got enough hair for that.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
that's why he does it about once a month.
F1.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Has there been any moves transaction-wise you guys want to discuss?
Shout out to Coach Tony O'Neil on the offensive line job with the Minnesota Monsters.
Exactly. Hey, I haven't checked my mailbox yet, so I'm gonna have to do that when I get off the show. But
yeah, you might want to avoid checking your mailbox for the next couple of weeks. It sounds like. No, but I'm talking IFL transactions. Any IFL transactions you guys want to discuss before we move on?
Yeah, man. Zico still hasn't been activated to active, so I don't know if I think we're not. I think we're not bringing him back. To be honest,
for what I heard, him and your boy, the general, is not on the same page, and I don't think Zico's going there.
Hey man, Zico can do whatever he pleases. I'm happy with our receiving core. Zico is a great part of our franchise. If he wants to move on, he can go up to Vegas. But I think we got a good team coming in, man. We got 28 guys coming, so we're going with a limited roster to start camp, which I'm fine with. We can use it as a extended training. hey, sometimes you need 28 guys. I'm not. No, hold on. I know how this looks.
Yeah, it sure does look a certain way, buddy.
But I should not have said 28 guys. But yeah,
hey, you should have seen Sam. You should have seen Sam's face when you said that, bro.
This sounds like a straight setup. Like Sam was just waiting to pounce on this.
I actually wasn't. I didn't know he was going to say that, so it cracked me up as soon as he said it.
Just like, how can I get him to do this?
27 because our guy moved up to the UFL, so 27. But we got a limited setup to camp, and it's going to be 20, 25 guys, 27 guys competing for 25 spots. It's going to be really competitive, and I'm just really excited because I saw a picture of my boy Talia. I'm not gonna lie, he looked a bit out of shape, but I think if we can just develop him and get him ready to go for the season, man.
You're not helping. You're gonna get released.
You're not helping my confidence at all with Mass Lando right now, buddy. I'm actually favoring New Mexico now, knowing that they got 27 players coming into camp.
Is it 25 in the IFL or is it 24?
25. You have 20. You have 25 signed. You have 25 signed. 4 of them are going to be your practice squad, quote unquote. You have 21 active day of game.
Gotcha. So identical to the NALN. Okay, that makes sense.
Hey Lobo, like my thing is though the website should be updated. You know what I mean? Like we gotta. I mean, not you. I know you don't obviously, but like I'm just saying, like in general, like for any team, that's what I do. I just count based on how many we have. But we must. I think we'll go in honestly though. No joke aside, we'll probably go in camp with like 30, 31 maybe if once it gets started fully. We'll probably add guys because we have the Orlando Storm right down the road. So once they make cuts, we got a bunch of dogs on the way.
You are not wrong. That is that is going to be an asset. However, the fact you might want to recall that they practice in Texas. So little bit of a trip from Texas.
They all in Dallas. They all in Dallas.
Oh, yo, that's crazy. Oh God.
No, I mean, I'm not
Congrats
saying
to San
that they
Antonio for winning the IFL championship.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they, obviously guys will still trickle across the country. It does not matter. They're going to go wherever, the best opportunity is for them, of course. But it just kind of cracked me up when you said that. But we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we'll transition over to the AF1. Apologize, we kind of got off the rails there, but that's why you guys watch, right? It's entertaining. It's football. It's entertainment as well. So quick commercial. We'll be right back.
Three, four times, maybe. I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
All right, we are back to talk about the AF1 now. We got to be very careful about what we say. Apparently, we upset some people last week. We're not trying to upset anybody, but apparently we do it quite often unintentionally. It's okay. So, anyway, what do you guys have for the AF1 this week?
Tony O'Neill.
Yeah, let's go to Coach B first on that.
Tony O'Neill, congrats on the signing with the Monsters as the offensive line coach. That's big news, being back with your family. I like that. Appreciate you guys for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an interesting move to see. Krish, what are your thoughts on Tony O'Neill? I know you were you were not high on the move prior to his announcement. What do you think about it now?
Yeah, the announcement was made. First of all, congratulations to Coach Tony. And Minnesota Monsters organization, you guys have opened up, you entered a new nightmare, right? This is going to end up in a nightmare. And it's going to be something, the culture is going to be completely broken by week 3, unfortunately. And not because of Coach Tony. It's because this is not a good fit at this time. Coach Tony and Coach Clark cannot be on the same staff. That's already been proven last year. But, I shouldn't have to worry about anything. Right? Jacob Lambert should be worried about his coaching staff. That's what he should be worried about, but he clearly is not. So Coach B, you know Larache. You were Larache in Iowa. You think Larache and Tony are going to get along? Come on now. No, that's going to be horrible. It's going to end up horrible. So it's a mistake.
But one thing I can say, it's a new general in town. Meadow Lemon is going to make sure it's structure up there. That's one thing I do know from coaching with him, from playing for him and working under him. He don't accept anything. So if that coaching staff start having discrepancies, please believe he will fire any one of them. It don't matter if you're the head coach all the way down to the O-line. Meadow will fire you.
But from and like what is Coach Tony coaching? O-line? What does he know about O-line? Like has he ever, I'm not trying to disrespect him. He's a defensive coach. That's my thing. Like, why is he coaching the O-line? Like, that's like coaching the receivers or quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
The difference is Coach B can coach quarterbacks. I played it all high school, so bad analogy.
But you understand what I mean? Like, why like the O-line? Like, this doesn't make sense.
That's like me coaching the O-line. I would never do that. I have no sense of skill set for that. I'm a defensive coach. I can coach probably the D-line, and I still wouldn't do that. So I don't know why I go to the O-line.
Yeah, Kyler Edwards from Vegas is going to come down and, like, you know, listen to Coach Tony, who never played or coached the position before, like, from playing with Mike Davis last year. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I'm confused about. So I hope it works out for them, man. I want to see Minnesota be successful. I want to see Jacob Lambert be successful, man. But unfortunately, I think they're going to learn the hard way week one, and I think they're going to get destroyed by 40 to 50 points week one, and I think it's going to be so bad that people will quit after week one, and they'll have to rebuild. I will say, though, Coach Clark has done a good job at rebuilding the secondary. The secondary that Ben McCoy had before he left in Minnesota was yucky. It was not good. He did a good job at rebuilding it somewhat. Problem is the rest of the team. Ben McCoy did a good job putting the receivers in place. Ben McCoy had a better receiving core. I think Ben McCoy, in my opinion, understands the offensive side of the football better than the defensive side. He had better receivers. So their receiving core is a little shaky. But the issue for me is, like, how would these veteran players buy in, you know, to all these different voices? Because Claude Davis, man, I know Claude Davis. Claude is a baller. Claude will go there, and if they lose bad week one, he won't be there for week two. He'll leave, right? He'll just stay. That's my opinion, though. So,
no, I don't know about that. I think we'll see. I think a lot of players are bought in to Minnesota, regardless of who the coach might be. You know, I've heard a lot of players talk about how well taken care of they are by Jake and Lambert. So I just want to throw that out there.
Like Jacob Lambert, this is Jacob Lambert's first year as an owner. Right?
Yeah, I'm aware. Trust me, I'm aware. I've heard a lot of great things about him from players.
I like what he's doing, but I also think he getting in too thick. I don't think he knows what he's getting into, honestly. He's gonna try to outpay everybody, and that's gonna hurt him in the end. But I think what they building over there is special. And I think they can do something if they do it slowly. It just ain't gonna be this year.
I don't know that they are trying to overpay anybody at this point. I think actually they did the big roster reset. I mean, there might be a couple players.
They got Torrey Boyd. You know damn well Torrey Boyd doesn't.
Okay, look, this might come off crazy. Torrey Boyd is a very valuable player. So I don't know what he's making, but I have hard pressed to say he's overpaid, you know, at any point. He's a really good player, and he can play both sides of the ball and be quality on both sides of the ball. We saw it last year in Salina. So, I mean, for that, I mean, if you get a guy who can legitimately start on both sides of the ball, I have a hard time arguing with that. And, like, for guys that might be higher paid, I mean, I know there's a couple other guys on the roster. Claude Davis, he's a proven commodity. You know that guy can roll out of bed and catch 6-7 sacks a season, you know? So
don't they have Shaquille Holiness too? Yeah, they do.
They've got Holiness as well. Man, I didn't even catch that. Dude, that defensive line is going to be nasty.
Someone's not religious. Jeez.
I didn't catch that either. They do have a nice defensive line. Like you said, it's going to come down to their secondary and their quarterback play. I am not sold on the quarterback. He was not the best quarterback in the TAL, so what makes you think he's going to be the best quarterback?
I mean, they're paying him $2,800 a game, so I hope he's good.
And my DB was a better quarterback than him in the TAL. So what does that tell you?
Guys,
my DB, who was the best DB in the league, went to quarterback and still put up more numbers than your starting quarterback in the league.
Where's Shaquille on here?
They've got Shy Hills. Holy crap,
yeah, they got. You didn't know they had Shy Hill? They did have Shy Hill.
I forgot about Shy Hill being signed there. I knew he was signed there, but that defensive front is insane. Like, how can you even say it's going to be a bad season for him just hearing those 3 names?
So here's my thought on it. I can't really speak too much. My lawyers have told me not to because I do not want to defame this franchise. I think they're a good team. That's all I can really say.
That sounds like a good plan. I think we should leave it at that because I really do think that's a quality defense.
I can't comment on how much these players are making because it might be wrong, and I just
let's go to this then. Who's going to be the best team in the West, and who's going to be the bad team in the West? Who's going to be the best team in the East, and who's going to be the bad team in the East?
In the AF1, or are they doing
AF1? In the AF1, just the East and
are they doing East-West?
I don't think they really have conferences or divisions, but
I mean, there's only 9 teams with one single table, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just saying how it's broke down with the teams. Who would you think would be the better team on that side of the map?
Are you putting Beaumont in the West?
Yes, I'm putting Beaumont in the West.
Beaumont, either Beaumont or Washington.
Who's gonna be the least good team there?
The what team? The team in the East?
No, the team in the West. Who you think is not gonna be the best good team in the West? Who's gonna struggle?
Take your pick between Oceanside or Oregon.
I'm honestly think Oceanside might be cool. What they motto is they came out front from day one with their motto and they stuck to it, and they don't care what nobody say. But I think it's gonna work out for them. Will they be the top team in the league? No, but I think they're not gonna be the worst team in the league either.
Well, here's my thing. Do you include Minnesota in the West?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll go with Minnesota then. It'll be between Beaumont or Minnesota.
I'm not sold on Beaumont. I'm not sold on Beaumont in the AF1. No, not in the AF1.
Hold on. Can we back up a step? I'm confused. How many? So we're considering Minnesota, Beaumont, Oregon, Oceanside, and Washington in the West.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Timberwolves are in the West in the NBA. So.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm keeping up so I can give my
your
predictions.
Your 4 teams in the East would be Kentucky, Albany, Nashville, and who am I blanking on?
Who is that? Who the other team?
Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So you got 5 in the West, 4 in the East. Okay.
Man, yeah. So I'm with Cody on that one. I think I have to pick Minnesota out of the West, and then out of the East. Dude, honestly, that is stacked. Like, if you're considering that a conference, it is incredibly hard to pick one team out of that side of the country. Yeah, I mean, how can you pick against Albany, really? But
I'm gonna pick, but Kentucky's roster. Y'all talking about Minnesota's roster? Look at Kentucky's roster.
Oh, Kentucky's their roster is
by far. I think it's the best roster in the AF1 right now.
Kentucky's going to compete for the championship.
100%. I think honestly, you could say that about Kentucky. You can say that about Nashville. You could say that about Albany. I really think you could probably say that about Minnesota. You, depending on how Beaumont looks, you might even be able to say that about them. So, like,
I think Beaumont will get Minnesota, but I think Washington's going to be the better team in the West because, and it ain't no. I'm not being funny. It ain't the offense. The defense is going to be a little bit better, and I just think they more stable on that side.
They also play Oregon 4 times, so they have an opportunity to win 4 games.
You hear me?
No, that is a great point. That's a huge factor, obviously. So, that is 100% something to factor in because basically you beat Oregon 4 times, you're in the playoffs.
Practically, man. Because, is it top 4 AF1 or is it top 6?
I'm not sure. I think they did 6-4 last year. Dear Lord,
they did 6, right? Because they did like the play-in game kind of thing, right? You had buys.
I honestly can't even remember at this point. I thought it was 4, but I could be misremembering. No, it was 6. You're right. Because it was Southwest Kansas versus Nashville and Salina. No, it was 4, actually.
Salina versus Albany, and then Albany and
Nashville.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know why I can't remember that. That wasn't that long ago. That's terrible.
A lot has happened.
Trying to look it up just so we don't misspeak. Yeah, it was a 14 playoff. So if they go with 4 teams this year, man, that's going to be a tough playoff race.
I mean, do you have your haves and your have-nots already? As a consensus, it's Albany, Nashville, Kentucky, Minnesota. As we say right now, what team can jump? You have Washington, Beaumont. Those two teams.
Beaumont, 100%.
Can they jump? Can they jump someone like Minnesota and get that final playoff spot?
Beaumont, nah. Beaumont, for sure. You know, Beaumont, they got some pieces. They got Devin Kirkwood. He's a young DB from UCLA, 73.9 PFF grade. So, you know, having a young piece like that in the secondary, and then offensively, they just signed Daquan Dudley today. So,
Nice.
Daquan Dudley. So, yeah, I mean, they got pieces in Beaumont. Sure.
Shout out to
Beaumont signed Dudley.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was at the Orlando tryout.
Hey, man, he had a change of heart. So I think
Did he have a change of heart, or did you guys just not want him? Speak on it, Krish.
Well, I mean, hey, like, I'm glad that he went to Beaumont because I think it's a better fit for him.
No, the dude deserves to play with Quad City in Vegas last season or 2 seasons ago, what have you. He's a very good guy, very good player. So hopefully he lands somewhere.
But no, I mean, I think Beaumont is set up for success just from a coaching perspective. But Coach B, do you have any insight on who's going to call the offense down in Beaumont?
I forgot he was a coach that coached Carl Rogers in semi-pro. I forgot his name. Once I remember it, I'll throw it out there. But they say he know the game. He's been coaching like lower arena leagues, but people I talked to said he's a decent OC. My thing is, the head coach got to make it through the season.
So let me ask this: Are we comfortable as a group right here locking down Kentucky and Albany as locks for the playoffs?
100%.
Oh yeah,
I'd go 1 step
100%.
further and say I lock in
Nashville
Nashville.
too.
You want to
Nashville
lock
too.
in Nashville as well?
Yes.
So
Nashville,
who takes
Kentucky,
that final playoff spot?
Minnesota, Beaumont, or Michigan.
You think Michigan?
Michigan has an interest.
You just talked about Washington's schedule. I
Yeah,
think Washington has an opportunity there. I think it's Beaumont, Washington, or Minnesota.
but I did say offensive wise, I'm not sold on them. So if it comes down to a tight game, I'm not sold on JR. I'm not sold on JR as a play caller at all.
No, I'll never be. I don't think he.
And I'm not sold on him as a head coach. So
Chuck Jones is man. I like Coach Jones, but like
I love Coach Jones as a person, but I just don't think Oregon's going to be top in the league or can compete with that.
I don't think they'll be good at all this year, to be honest. And Coach Davis, before you start spreading misinformation, I was excited about the possibility of having him at our tryout. When I saw that he was at the tryout, we spoke a little bit, but I wouldn't say I wanted anyone. I wanted whoever our fearless leader thought was the best fit for the tryout.
Who's the fearless leader? I forgot.
Jawad.
Okay.
Jawad. The captain is Keith.
Gotcha. Captain Keith. Okay, got the alliteration right there. Also, Coach Davis, please do not spread misinformation. We'll send you a strongly cease and desist letter. Thank you.
Dude, I'm gonna have to hire a whole legal team, guys. Come on, you need to relax a little.
I'm just kidding around. If people take that seriously, like that's the whole
point. On another note,
seriously,
if you're a lawyer in the crowd and you would like to get some free advertising, I'm apparently gonna need your services here soon. So if
seriously, so like, I do want to clarify something though, like to those comments I made last week. Like, nah, man, I'm not trying to hate on no one. At the end of the day, like. I hear information, I report what I hear, and if it's wrong, man. Like, come on the show. Tell me I'm wrong in my face. I don't care.
To be fair, I do want to back up and say something. Okay, so yes, we upset somebody last week, but I went through because they expressed some concern about what was said. I went through and I re-listened to the entire show. We do it every time somebody's concerned. Obviously, I want to know what we said that we could have possibly upset something. Before Krish ever mentioned anything about Minnesota, he specifically said the words, "This is speculation from multiple sources." Speculation. That's not defamation. That's not an issue. It's speculation. So I just want that to be very clear. He was not reporting facts. He was not presenting it as facts. He was presenting it as speculation. So, yes, was it a negative fact about a team? Yes, it was. Do we apologize if it's incorrect? Absolutely, we will. But at the same time, it was speculation. So we're all clear.
Shady, can I say this? Just
Yeah.
to all the leads out here, we report news, whether it's good or bad, and we do a lot of homework. All of us on here do homework on it. Sometimes we're not gonna get it always right. Do the news always get everything right? No. So please, all you leads, don't get offended that we're producing news, but that's our job as sports reporters is to produce news. We don't have a bias. We're not gonna be biased for any team. If the team we like is doing something bad, we're gonna say that. So don't get on here and tell us don't talk about your team or your league, because that's the whole purpose of Around the World, to give you news on what's happening in arena football. We are news reporters. We're not coaches. We're not players. We're not none of that. We're news reporters. So we're gonna report the news that we were given and the research we done. It might be accurate. It might be inaccurate sometimes. Come on here and support your facts if you got facts. Don't just knock us.
I do want to add one more thing too, finally, on this to close it out. Like my power rankings that I put out. You know what I mean? Like me and Cody, we go back and forth about it, but it's all love at the end of the day. Like, I do, a lot of research, and I want to point out something like the NAL. I love the NAL. I want to bring more eyes to the league because I really enjoy watching the sport. I've enjoyed it since I was young. And a thing is that they did their state of address, their big press conference, right? Their video got 4,000 views. You know how many views my rankings got? 23,000. So I'm doing God's work. I'm bringing eyes to the league. So just give me credit where credit's due, man. Like,
look how he turned it into his own rankings and stuff like that. When we're saying,
He's
"Hey
doing
guys, we're gonna
God's
get
work,
some stuff
man.
wrong sometimes."
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
So
look at Coach B over there saying like that was one hell of a speech, and then he goes, "We're not coaches," as he's wearing coach's gear.
yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah, see,
The truth
Wouldn't
hurts some
help you over
people's
there.
feelings.
Hey, Quentin, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not a coach on Saturdays.
He's got his
Man, he
reporter's hat
says
on.
that, and then we look at his schedule, and there are 90% Saturday games.
Yeah. Now let me
He's
piggyback
like,
up.
I'm not a coach on Saturday, guys.
Sorry. Let me piggyback off Coach
Saturday
B.
mornings from 7 a.m. Eastern Standard to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am not a coach. I am a news reporter.
Yeah,
That's
let's say this too, though, to piggyback off Coach B. Whatever we run with, it's not. Trust me, bro. These are my sources. We hear it from people. It's simple as that. We try and corroborate it as best as we can. Try and get another source if we can't. We even ask people, "Are we okay to run with some of this stuff?" And if they say no, we don't. It's as simple as that. If we run with it, we run with it. We've been given the okay with it. If that's all right, cool. If you have a problem with it, you brought it up to us. We'll make an announcement like Sam just did. Like, we are sorry if we do hurt feelings. We are sorry if stuff leaks out, but I think that says something more about an organization and the stuff within that than us getting the information and reporting on it. Now, I'm not trying to say that what we've done is right or wrong. There's stuff that we get wrong. There's stuff that we report that we probably shouldn't report, and we get slapped on the wrist or we lose our privileges, and that's fine too. We make mistakes. Everyone does. So at the end of the day, it's all love from this end, at least for me. I can't speak for you guys. I hope it's all love from you guys too.
All love.
At the end of the day, we all just want to grow this. We also want to call out the bad things that go on and make sure that it's all love from here to the coaches, to the owners, to the leagues, to the players, everything else.
Not even that. If we don't report it, it's going to be the same cycle. Stuff going to be going wrong. We want to build the game, not hurt the game. So we gotta make sure everything's fair.
Hey, Coach Q, y'all better join a legit league. I'm telling you. You have to join the AAL, or I hope you join the NAL. So for those who don't know, Coach Q was the head coach of San Antonio their first year, right? He went 6-2, them in the championship game. He's now starting his own team, Texas Wild Dogs.
really?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. I believe they're going to play in the San Antonio area. But one thing I do want to say is I'm a huge supporter of all teams. I love the Minnesota Monsters, and even though I clown on them a lot, I want them to be successful. I got guys over there too, and even the theme song is on my playlist now. This man right here I'm listening to, but Coach Clark. So, I believe that my favorite theme song of any team. So
Texas Wild Hogs, he says, just to clarify. That's
Hey,
awesome.
congrats
Congratulations.
on that, Coach Q too. Congrats, man.
100%.
what league? What league? Let's. What league do you think they should join?
Well, it depends. I mean, you've got a lot of neighbors down there. So me personally, I would always look to the other teams. Where are they at? Where are the
Yeah,
other teams?
it come to travel. Like it ain't about a league. Like y'all ass say join these leagues, and it's more so about travel. Like if owner can't afford to travel across country, don't join the AF1. If you can't afford to travel across country, don't join the IFL. If you want to be Midwest slash East South to league, join the NAL. If you want to save some money, join the AAL. It just depends on what fits you as an owner to do the league.
Missed
Make sure you got the money first off.
Most of the leagues are in way better place than it was last year. At least we aren't waiting on schedule reworks out of the NAL and AF1. Hey, that is a great point. Great point. We're already way better off than we were last season.
Can you believe it? Like we're here. We made it. Like every weekend now, from now on until August. To the second week of August, we have indoor football. That's crazy.
Exactly. And for the record, I have a saying when it comes to this. I want to see every team succeed because more teams means more to cover. We're in media, so that's good business. So, we don't want to upset people, but at the same time, sometimes we're going to report on negative things because
my team I supported for 9 years, went to every single game except one, moved. I still support the team like that. They're here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the business is business. This is a crazy business. So you just got to roll with the waves. I do have a question for you, though. So tonight at the Pueblo game, like, what kind of coverage are you going to be like, you know what I mean, on the field and stuff? Like, will we see you there?
I don't know about on the field, but I know we'll have 3 people on site. Excuse me. And I've already talked to the owner, Lisa, about media passes. Thank you, Lisa, for granting us that access. I really appreciate that. So we'll have LeCedric and his wife will be joining us. LeCedric's wife is into photography and video, so she's going to be doing some of that. We're going to try and get some interviews. I know the commissioner will be on site. I have asked him to kind of give us, maybe 5 minutes of his time so we can do a short interview pregame to talk about some of the stuff going on. I will say that a lot of this stuff is probably not going to be live. It'll probably be posted as we're getting it throughout the game as I can go. It's going to be dependent on, what we're doing, but that's part of the reason why I wanted multiple of us there. So we can kind of divide and conquer and get multiple different angles, multiple different aspects of the first, game in, I believe, almost 20 years where we have 2 Colorado indoor football teams playing against each other. So I'm very excited about this game tonight.
I am too. I'm so excited.
Hey, they did it right. This the way to start it off, kick it off. That's a hell of a game to choose to kick it off. So I like what the NAL doing with that one.
Hey, next week, man, I'm gonna be in the biggest red zone in the country, man. Omaha, Nebraska. I can't wait. I'll be up there. I'll be at the game.
God's country.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be up there with you, Chris.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Nice. Well, in that case, Krish, I will definitely reach out and try and get a media pass on your behalf as well. Although I don't think you would really need one in that building. I think everybody pretty much knows who you are, but I will make sure we get that taken care of as well. But
depends on if he shaves his head. Then people might not recognize him.
I will say that one thing we are aiming to do this year is be on site at a lot more events. So, as I mentioned, I'll be at the game tonight as well as a couple other people. Krish will be going to the Omaha game next week. And actually, Krish and I may turn up at an AF1 game. We haven't quite, 100% ironed that out yet, but I'm going to try and talk Krish into it. We will both be or hopefully both be in New York in early April for, the first week of the AF1 kickoff. So we might try and catch a game that night as well.
Oh, yeah. After yesterday, I'm like, yeah, I definitely got to be there now.
Dude, it's only 3 hours from where we're going to be. We have to go.
On the bench, man. Jumping the whole game.
So, yeah, anyway, we'll see how things go. But we also have a couple other guys that are going to be frequenting other games, in the AAL and AL2. we're going to have guys at the Wheeling games, most likely at Pittsburgh Outlaw games, Carolina Aviators, as well as the Predators. And then we're also going to have, our guy, Matt Razier, who's in the chat right now. He's going to be hitting some multiple games and multiple locations.
I can make this announcement too right now too. For the May 18th, the game at the mall, I'll be doing a pregame show live from the mall with my boy Trey, and we got Blizness, their show too, and we got Mass Pirates Nation, so we'll be doing a show with the four of us pregame at 11:30 before the 12 o'clock New Mexico Arizona game, and then at 3 o'clock, I turn into a different person. So for our game at night, but I'll be covering the morning game at least. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Any other topics you guys wanted to get to on the IFL before we
talk about? I know not IFL related, but did we talk about Krish McKinney? Did we talk about him?
Yeah, congrats.
No,
congrats
we did not.
Hey, congrats to my OC for getting promoted to the head coaching job at Wheeling.
There you go. Krish McKinney. We did not cover this last week, and that's my fault. I dropped the ball on that one. Congratulations to Krish McKinney. He's previously been a head coach, as you mentioned, been an offensive coordinator. He's a very good hire for Wheeling. So I'm really, really excited to see what he can do there. And now he's got his quarterback. We talked about that last week, Shea Spencer. So let's go around the horn. I mean, Cody, what are your thoughts on Krish McKinney and Wheeling?
It's a good hire. Spent like what was once like a very, and I'm not going to disparage since they're kind of a sponsor here, but like what was once kind of like a very stable franchise with everything that they've got going has been kind of a roller coaster the last couple of years, it seems, especially the head coaching spot. So to actually lock it down, we'll see how it goes, but excited to see how it all shakes out, man, because you need that stability. Like you just mentioned, we want all teams to succeed. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction. Not saying that they're going under by any means, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, given the previous concerns, I feel like it would have been very legitimate to kind of wonder what kind of coach they were going to be able to hire. And coming out of that situation and hiring Krish McKinney is a win for Wheeling in my mind. So I think that's a really good hire, and I'm not just saying that because Wheeling happens to be one of our partners and one of our supporters. I mean, Krish McKinney's a great coach. So, shout out to the Wheeling Miners and that hire. That's a good one for sure.
Definitely a good one.
Anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm happy for Coach McKinney. It was listed on the I kind of had a breakdown when they released it because they listed him as a co-defensive coordinator. He was not a co-defensive coordinator. He was an assistant for the final 3 games. I appreciate his support with the team, but he was not a co-defensive coordinator.
From what I got, I've been working with McKinney the last few weeks. He actually was the co-defensive coordinator, and I talked to Manaz. Manaz said McKinney did put in on some of the defense's calls and strategies.
Not for the year though.
It ain't for the whole year. He wasn't there the whole year either.
But no, I'm happy for Coach either way. I think it's a big deal for him. I think when you hire someone, he's won a championship with AC before. In Columbus and undefeated. Yep. I just think he's a good person too. Minor references him is great. Shea Spencer is a great get at quarterback. Now they just got to get an O-line to protect him, and they have the receivers in place. So I'm happy for that. And then on the indoor football league front, Drew Powell going back to Arizona is a big move.
Oh yeah.
So
I actually missed that one.
I missed that one too.
Yeah.
But I think Krish McKinney actually fits Wheeling perfectly. With the style of play, he knows that game. He can coach offense and defense. A lot of those players played for him before when they was with the Havoc and the Columbus Lions. You know what I'm saying, when he was on those staffs. So he's familiar with the players and just like you said, Wheeling is not an easy place to go coach. So they got a coach who actually can fit in there.
Agreed.
I would say Wheeling. I feel like Wheeling's a pretty easy place to coach, in my opinion.
The Valley, I've heard it from players. The Valley, them people have to like you, players and coaches, for you to succeed there.
But he'll do great. I feel like I don't think the Bearcats are ready for what's about to come to them, but that's another story. I think that.
Hey, Mississippi is actually putting together a good roster. Former IFL CIF players. So
I think Bearcats might take that belt this year, in my opinion. I think Wheeling and Columbus are going to roll over them, but
we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a good season regardless. It'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Mateo Rodriguez, the quarterback that Jersey has.
He's like 22. He's super young too.
Yeah, exactly. He actually was in the transfer portal, and Jersey got him out of the portal to come play, and because it didn't affect his eligibility, and then he just decided to keep playing arena football. So,
Wow.
I think he's a really solid player, and I think he's only going to get better with time and coaching and reps and stuff. So I think that he's a guy that a lot of teams at higher levels should keep an eye on because, like I said, or not higher levels, but other leagues should keep an eye on because of the fact that he is so young. Maybe if you're a UFL, you bring that guy in, he's a developmental guy for a couple of years as your QB3 or something like that. Very athletic, can throw the ball. So, I mean, as far as that goes, I think he's a very solid candidate to watch for a pretty solid season. My question about Jersey is their offensive line, only because I don't know enough about who they have right now. I know they lost a couple vet players from last season who I felt were kind of key pieces this year, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think AJ got enough. AJ, you think got enough around him, but all the cities surrounding him to bring somebody in. He can pull from the semi-pro teams down there and everything. So I think they'll be okay. Do I think they're gonna win the league? No, but I think they're gonna compete well. I do want to give a shout out to AJ, Kevin, and the AAL too, because they've been moving strategically and on point. So shout out to them.
Agree. They're doing a good job. Doing a good job. And for the record, there were some questions last week about some players I recognized in the draft. I said I would not give that information until I had gotten the permission to do so, and I have gotten the permission to do so. So if you're really curious about some players that are in the draft that you would like to do some research on and are curious about the kind of talent that may be in the draft, one guy in particular that has stuck out to me quite heavily is Nico St. Clair. He is signed with, I believe, the Ohio Legends, if I remember correctly.
No, Nico St. Clair is playing right now with the Cedar Rapids Titans, and he's not starting either.
Really? Interesting.
Yes, he's the number 3 DB, number 22 for Cedar Rapids Titans.
Interesting. I knew he was with Cedar Rapids right now, but to my understanding, he was still...
He's young too. He actually played over in Brazil.
Yeah, he's like 2022 or 22, 23. But I like his college film. Let's put it that way. So I think that he's got the tools to be a very, very high level player. He's kind of a ball hawk, does well in press man, plays zone well. So I think he's a guy who can do really well in the AAL specifically. And then there's a running back I was really excited about, but I think he has since signed overseas, unfortunately. Deontay Sip, former track guy, ran for over 900 yards at Campbellsville University. That dude I thought was going to be a baller. There's also a couple other players. I'm blanking names off the top of my head. I'd have to pull open the list, but there's some sort of encouraging talent in this draft that I think is going to surprise some people. Especially if they do, assuming they do suit up for the AAL2 this year, like I expect. I think it's really going to kind of surprise some people.
Oh, another move I forgot to mention too, IFL, Mikel Calhoun, the linebacker from Arizona, he's on refuse to report. Just doesn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, they signed like 4 linebackers. They have Hayden Hatcher coming over from Arizona, Jacksonville, because, they paid for him to come. And then they got DJ Lundy from Florida State. So
nice.
Now, transaction with that too. Isaiah Houston back with Arizona.
Yeah, that's a crazy move. Man, they always get their key guys back.
Yeah,
crazy.
Just who are their vets right now? I feel like Arizona's got like a lot of veteran players, but maybe I'm just
they actually are like right up against the limit last time I looked. Hold on. Pull it up.
Houston's definitely a vet. He's got
like 9. I checked New Mexico, they have like 9. So
all right.
Cut down the
veterans for Arizona include Drew Powell, Max Myler, Isaiah Houston, Michael Brown, Devin Hafford. That's it.
Wait, and Michael Brown, an offensive lineman?
Correct. They signed him as well. He was on league injured reserve. He was injured a lot last season, I think.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, he might have played the entire season.
That's
Christopher
crazy.
Strotter. Yeah.
Mike Brown is one of the better linemen in Michigan.
Yeah.
In
So
Michigan.
what was that? 5 or 6? They don't even have.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's 5. They've got 5 with another veteran, Jermaine Dobbs, on league injured reserve. So they don't even have 7 veterans. So they can still sign some veterans. They need a kicker, so we'll see how that goes. But that they won't waste a veteran spot on a kicker, I don't think. They released Nick Belcher like a month or 2 ago.
What's Dawson Evitz doing these days?
Yeah, I wonder. Shane McInerney. No, he's over and playing with the International League.
Is he?
Yeah.
That makes sense for him. Interesting. Well, one topic we didn't talk about, and obviously we're getting kind of deep into the weeds here, but is the man sitting next to me, Mr. Odessa Drillers here. Your season's about to kick off, sir. So who do you have up first?
We got Louisville, little semi-pro scrimmage team up first.
Savages?
Yeah. So they up first. Something a good work to tool up on. The week before that, I do a little scrimmage game open to the public against Midland just to get that rivalry going.
Very nice.
Louisville by 50.
That's what I'm talking about, Cody. I like it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not opposed. I don't care. I seen Omaha get beat, so I don't think any given day any dog has their day. So I'm preparing just like they a regular top flight team.
I'm just messing around. You guys are gonna get it done.
You got some solid players down there. Who's your quarterback this? Oh, okay.
He didn't want to talk.
I heard a name that he mentioned to me privately. I wonder who said on screen. It's someone
that question real quick. He's like, quarterback. Nope.
Someone that you were in love with, last year that you would have stopped talking about from Southwest Kansas.
Me?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know who it is.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Who's the quarterback coach for Odessa?
Huh?
Who's your quarterback?
Wait to see, man. Wait to see, man.
All right.
Wait to see.
Thompson, man. Hey, Coach Loban and them in Sioux City must have been pissed when they saw that. Carlos Thompson signed with Odessa.
I got Carlos Thomas. I got Emmett Gooden, the number 1 defensive lineman in the country at one point for Last Chance U as well. So I got Bond Spruce. I got some dogs, man. We spread out across the board. I recruited a nice little squad. I'm ready to see what they do on paper. I mean, on the field, because the paper part is pretty good. So I'm actually bringing 4 quarterbacks into camp and giving 2 spots. So
interesting. Very excited to see what happens there.
Just still available. You might want to call him. He's not busy, right?
Yeah, he's not busy. He signed with Columbus, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Justin Art.
Good boy.
Yeah, I think he signed with Columbus. I got a guy coming in from Mass. He was at the Mass workout. They were trying to sign him, Jalen Richards, was once the number 1 quarterback in the state of Alabama. Went to Hoover High School, three state championships, played at UAB.
That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I'm excited.
Yeah, so they got Cozart coming into camp. I know you know about him, Shady.
That was the name I was expecting to hear. Yep.
Yeah, so I got him.
He's so good. Blah blah blah. I mean,
I got Boone. Boone played for a while. He's coming in and needed that little veteran presence. I had another quarterback, but he just retired. Kobe Gatson was coming down, but I brung in a young bull. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Kobe retired this year. He's gonna take the year off.
Gotcha. Krish is over here eating his breakfast now because he threw me out in the wind to hung me out to dry there.
No, my London on the show was saying that we had 27 guys coming to camp. I should have never said that.
You shouldn't have never.
I should have never said that.
Hey, I do got a sleeper, Shady, at quarterback, and I feel like he's a Jerome Johnson with a better passing arm. And I'm no lie.
That is a bold statement.
It's a big, bold statement. I like it, though. Wait till you see he's a sleeper. He a young guy, rookie.
Hey, you got a better quarterback, though. You got a better quarterback room than Louisiana does. So
I got a better quarterback room than most teams does. So,
well, on that note, where can we catch the games?
We'll be on Roku TV, YouTube, our YouTube channel. We actually got our own Roku TV channel. So we'll be there. We got some things that's gonna happen this year at our games that you guys might like. You know what I mean? We're gonna do something a little different. Thank you to Tommy Benizio coming down, helping us working. We doing some different stuff there. We gonna have fun this year. It's gonna be a sight to see. My goal this year is just really build back up Odessa. You know, they've been burned by 3 or 4 teams, so I'm just trying to build that up, get them out to the game, build my community up, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world after the it's butts in the seats.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think it's probably about time that we wrap this bad boy up. Any final words from you, Coach?
Man, watch out for the Odessa Drillers. My coaching staff will be announced here soon. I think we got some sleepers that that you gonna feel that we working real over here. My roster. Just shout out to the ownership group. My GM Richard Sickler. He works his ass off. So I'm pretty content with what we doing, and just shout out to every league: NAL, IFL, AIF, AAL, AF1. Y'all all doing your thing. Let's build up arena football.
Yeah, 100%. That's really the underlying theme here is we're watching a resurgence of the sport. We're talking about broadcast deals, betting contracts, national sponsorships, and 2 years ago, every league was fighting over who got more YouTube views. So, I mean, you know, we can argue about whatever we want, but we're watching this sport rebuild it, you know, right in front of our eyes. So it's kind of cool to watch.
Sam, I do got to give a shout out to one of my biggest sponsors, the Armadillo Hotel. We signed a 3-year contract. They will be housing. They give our players 3 meals a day. It's a full NCAA weight room on campus. So thank you, Armadillo Hotel.
Wow. There you go. Cody, any final thoughts?
Got a couple things. One, I've got my team preview series for the Indoor Football League. We've got 13 teams done and ready to go. We did Tulsa last night. Vegas is today. I'll get that out at 10 p.m. Central Time for that one. I'll have all 14 teams done. A couple days after that, I will be going further in depth with my playoff predictions, previews. I have coined the last 2 national championships with Vegas and Arizona. Can I make it 3 for 3? Tune in to find out. I am 9 subscribers away from 300, so if you want to subscribe to the channel, go for it. If you don't, I'm not your boss. Don't do it. I don't care, but I would like you to. Third, go get these. It's in conjunction with Adam Pelletier, and I think Off the Wall. It's Brews, Beer, and Buds, or Brews, Ball, and Buds. It's hard to read upside down. But I ordered this. It's actually very comfy. It's a nice little collab that he has. So I want to shout him out here. So go support Adam, go support Off the Wall, go obviously support us in the alley, all of that stuff. Like Coach B said, grow the game the best way you know how. Support the content creators that are doing the Lord's work. So that's all I got.
True. Love that. And for the record, it's Brews, Buds, and Ball. For the record, but yeah, that's awesome. I did not know that was the thing. I did not catch those. You're muted, buddy.
Oh, my bad. I got caught by the mute button. I was going to say, I was trying to read it upside down. I kept seeing Brews and Ball first, and I was just like, I can't read. It's too late in the day.
It's all good. Krish, any final thoughts, buddy?
Hey, man, appreciate everyone watching this morning. Had a lot of fun. Big game tonight. Let's go Spartans, man. Paxton Lynch, baby. Pac-12. Blow up the trap tonight. You know what to do. So just do what you do. Number 2, man. Hey, 15 days away. New Mexico, man. We on that bitch ass. So lock in.
Whoa.
It's gonna be a long day. Number 3, man. Omaha. The young Messiah is on his way. So I'm on my way.
Go Tuparos.
You know it, baby. Let's go. So excited for next week. And I'm ready.
Are you walking to Omaha? I mean, if you're on your way already, man, it's going to take a while, apparently.
I'm already mentally there, man. I can't wait
okay.
to see Solo and Tay. I can't wait.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, if you guys happen to be at the Colorado Spartans and Pueblo Punishers game tonight, come over and say hi. You know, let's take a picture together, you know, something like that. I'll be wearing my Shady Sports shirt.
You can roll up. You can roll up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, come say what's up, and we'll get some pictures, you know, whatever, something like that. So on that note, we'll catch you guys next week. Looking forward to it. We should have plenty of pictures and video from this upcoming game coming out tonight over the next couple of days. So definitely make sure you're following us on all major social medias. And as we mentioned before, it's going to be basically a run through the whole season of people, you know, being at games all year long. So, whether it's me or Krish or Cody or something, you're going to be seeing us all over the place. So if you're at an indoor football game, keep an eye out. You'll probably see one of us there. And on that note, we're going to end the show a little bit differently today. And here we go.
As the good Reverend would say, why we're on this particular mission, we'll never know. But I do know here today that the Black Knights will emerge victorious once again. Amen, man. Amen, Reverend.
All right. If you haven't seen Independence Day, go watch it. Krish, I'm talking to you. I know you've never seen that movie.
Yo, what's good? Cedric the bus driver here. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I will be doing every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday nights too. I'll be over at Shady Sports Network, so catch up with me. Holla at your boy.